Hey everybody, you are tuning in to the Canary News Talk live stream pre-stream. We're just about to get the show started, and it's Monday. Oh yeah. Not a whole lot of people in on the early pre-show here. Okay, all right, I see how it is. Well, I do have a favor to ask those of you who are here for the pre-show. If you wouldn't mind, share the show. Like, take the link, wherever you're watching this, wherever you're tuning in, take the link and send it to your social media. Put it on the tweeters, put it on the Facebook. Just like, let's get it out there, man. And if you tag us, then, you know, if I see it during the show, I'll give you a little shout out. It'll be a whole thing. It's really kind of one of the things we need to work on, is getting those algos going. So I'm looking at you. I see you, Jonathan and Orion and Enoch and Tintin and Malik and Chili and AI Gorithm, IT, all you folks. Go post about the show and tag us, because that'll really help us out. All right, well, we're going to get the show started here. It's going to be a good one. Remember, canarycry.party, all sorts of fun stuff there for you. And let's go. How about that?
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is September 26, 2022. We are live to tape on episode 539. And today, Poo Head. I'm signing on from off the grid. Razzle Dazzle. I'm your best buddy, Basil.
And this is Gonz, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, a.k.a. the Cabana Boy, here from California, here to serve you a podcast that brings you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And today's immersion phenomena is everything is being put in their place.
Oh, ooh.
It's such a double, triple combination. You'll have to listen to the show to get the full context.
Okay, so don't stop listening to the show right now, because then you'll never know what he's talking about. So I guess you got to listen to the show.
You
Stick
think
around.
We're talking about Putin, but you would be wrong.
Okay, don't give away the goods, Gonz.
I'm just saying.
Let me give away the goods. Here's the rundown.
Wrong button. Wrong button. Okay, yeah, you ready for the
Here's
the rundown?
I think I figured out what we need. What we need is here's the rundown jingle.
We
need a jingle to really hit the rundown hard.
It is true.
So,
the rundown music is the same as the pre-show music right now.
Yeah, but we need like something. We need something to start it off though. Like, here's the rundown. So here it is. We're going to start out checking in with Russians who have saved the world and how and why. It's a big day today, so we'll be talking about some Russians who have saved the world and some people who have saved the world who then become Russians. It's a big day. Then we'll be checking in with Flippy, how Flippy was proposed to help out with the Queen's funeral. Things have truly gotten out of hand. Then we'll be checking in on a series of China reports. Have you heard? It's Chinese Q is on the loose. We'll be checking out with that. And then Mr. Poo himself is in quite a pickle when it comes to technology, the U.S. and China. Then later on, we'll be checking in just a quick update on COVID, a quick update on Pelosi, and then a breakdown of some UFO news and the hive mind that may or may not be connected. And then at the end of the show, some interesting marketing developments when it comes to our favorite continent and yours, the ice wall, Antarctica. But first, Gans, let's check in with our lead stories.
Russia.
Do you have your Canary Cry calendar out, Gans?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything marked for today?
Feast of Trumpets. 1901, Monsanto was founded.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Combo.
So Feast of Trumpets and the day Monsanto was founded?
Apparently, yeah.
Look at those. That's two. What other calendar would have those two things?
True.
On the calendar? Well, I am putting a call out. I think there's still time to adjust this year's calendar coming out in December. If you want the Canary Cry calendar, it's the most treasured piece of Canary Cry memorabilia that comes out every year. This will be the third one. I have one to add on to it, Gons.
Okay.
This is first reported by Vox. We're going to read the Mirror here on MSN. And it says, 36 years ago today, one man saved us from world-ending nuclear war.
Just one man?
One man. One man stood between us and complete annihilation. You want to learn about this guy?
Yes. Tell me.
Okay. So listen up, calendar producers. I think this one will be worth putting on the calendar. On September 26th, 1983, the planet came terrifyingly close to a nuclear holocaust. The Soviet Union's missile attack early warning system displayed in large red letters the word launch. A computer screen stated to the officer on duty, Soviet Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov, that it could say with high reliability that an American intercontinental ballistic missile, or ICBM, had been launched and was headed towards the Soviet Union. First, it was just one missile, but then another and another, until the system reported that a total of 5 Minuteman ICBMs had been launched. Quote, Petrov had to make a decision. Would he report an incoming American strike? My then colleague Max Fisher explained, quote, if he did, Soviet nuclear doctrine called for a full nuclear retaliation. There would be no time to double-check the warning system, much less seek negotiations with the U.S. Reporting it would have made a certain degree of sense. The Reagan administration had a far more hardline stance against the Soviets than the Carter, Ford, or Nixon administrations before it. Months earlier, President Reagan had announced the Strategic Defense Initiative, mockingly dubbed Star Wars, a plan to shoot down ballistic missiles before they reach the U.S.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about this by Reagan.
Yes, Star Wars has been a big part of our career.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
and not the movies, the big part of our sort of childhoods. But no, the government program Star Wars we've talked about a lot.
Yeah.
And his administration was in the process of deploying Pershing II nuclear-armed missiles to West Germany and Great Britain, which were capable of striking the Soviet Union. There were reasons for Petrov to think Reagan's brinksmanship had escalated to an actual nuclear exchange. But Petrov did not report the incoming strike. He and others on his staff concluded that what they were seeing was a false alarm. And it was. The system mistook the sun's reflection off clouds for a missile. Petrov prevented a nuclear war between the Soviets, who had 35,804 nuclear warheads in 1983, and the U.S., which had 23,305. A 1979 report by Congress's Office of Technology and Assessment estimated that a full-scale Soviet assault on U.S. would kill 77% of the U.S. population, or between 82 million and 180 million people in 1983.
Wow.
The inevitable U.S. counterstrike would kill 20 to 40% of the Soviet population, or between 54 million and 108 million people. The combined death toll there, between 136 and 288 million, swamps the death toll of any war, genocide, or other violent catastrophe in human history. Proportional to world population, it would be rivaled only by the An Lushan Rebellion in 8th century China and the Mongol conquest of the 13th century. And it's likely hundreds of millions more would have died once the conflict disrupted global temperatures and severely hampered agriculture. International Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War put the potential death toll from starvation at about 2 billion.
Wow.
So this, we've actually mentioned this guy before, but today, the 26th of September, was the day that old Petrov, Stanislav Petrov, saved the world by doing what, Gons?
Rebel.
By not following orders.
Rebel.
By
against
questioning
the state.
authority, and by taking just a second to think for himself and not do what he was supposed to do, which is report this error on the radar.
Did he know it was an error?
No.
Are you
no,
sure?
He did not. Yeah, he did later.
Okay. So what prompted him to not do it before, if he knew that he was probably going to die if he doesn't say anything?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. So we've talked about this guy. There's some very interesting full historical examinations of this guy. Now, I will say, in this Vox article, they mention Stanislav Petrov, the most famous guy who's done this, but it also has a subheadline: Petrov isn't the only man who's prevented nuclear war. There was another Russian guy in 1962, Vasily Arkhipov, who did a similar thing. There was a guy in 1995 who had a very similar experience as well. This has happened repeatedly over the past 60 years where, if people, specifically Russians, and I think that's part of the propaganda going on here at Vox, specifically Russians, there is a whole handful of Russians who, if they had followed orders, done what they're supposed to do, not questioned authority, not questioned the system, the world would have ended like 4 or 5 times over. And so today, I think it's important for us to remember that the only reason I think any of us are here today, besides the grace and will of the Lord, is Russians questioning the authority. And not just Russians. I think the Russians are getting pointed out here on Vox because, of course, the American media is trying to inspire modern-day Russians to rebel against authority. Of course, Putin is currently, as we speak, drafting 300,000 Russian men to go fight in Ukraine. There's stories about recruitment centers, which are not recruitment centers. They're forced draft centers in Russia, experiencing violence and some real rebellion going on over there in Russia.
So is Vox saying that there are very fine Russians?
There's very fine people on both sides, is what Vox is here saying.
That's kind of what they're saying. So.
It absolutely is what they're saying. Yeah. We're obviously trying to inspire more Russians to turn against their leaders there in order to save the world. But it is good to remember that multiple times in this world where we are at least led to believe that we are constantly on the edge of annihilation by our own hands, that it is, thankful. We should be thankful, to the Lord for inspiring the idea of disrespecting authority in key moments of world history.
I can see Vox and the West here highlighting the rebellion as a good thing. You think about Lucifer and the rebellion against God. He's the good guy. Because here's the thing: there are other people doing things against authority.
God, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. This is Yahoo News. This is mirroring USA Today. This just popped in right before we went live here. Putin grants Russian citizenship to U.S. fugitive Edward Snowden.
Oh.
Yeah, a little trade, Like, hey, you guys can have the old timer with the nukes. We'll get the new cyber pandemic guy.
That's it. That's got an interesting comparison. Some might say, and it depends on if you're a politician, what year it is. They flip-flop on this all the time. But some might say Edward Snowden and his rebellion against authority has had its own sort of world-saving effect.
Yeah. Interesting. It says
interesting connection.
Former U.S. security contractor Edward Snowden, a fugitive of American authorities who has been living in Russia since 2013, was granted Russian citizenship by President Vladimir Putin on Monday at a time of high tension between the countries because of the war in Ukraine. Putin signed a decree Monday conferring citizenship to 75 foreign nationals, including Snowden, who is wanted in the U.S. after leaking classified documents detailing government surveillance programs. He received permanent Russian residency in 2020. All right, so there you go. It's official now. He's been hiding out for a while.
Edward Snowden is officially a Russian citizen. This is quite the psychological operation for a large group of Americans.
Yeah, of course.
Edward Snowden, of course, at first, and there's still people who think this, but at first was considered pretty roundly by our officials, the authorities, to be a terrorist.
Right.
To be an anti-American terrorist. Since then, it's been sort of a roller coaster of opinion about Snowden, but, any free-thinking person not sort of shackled by the chains of unreasonable patriotism or nationalism. Some call Edward Snowden a patriot for what he did, for fighting, for revealing the tyranny of a now tyrannical digital panopticon government. Well, Russia, you've done it again. You've confused us all.
It feels like the only analogy I can think of with all this, and we got to get that New World Order Fantasy League going, because it's almost like these countries are just teams, and then they got players or assets, like they all these different
trades.
They do trades and they do swaps and contracts, and it's just interesting, like a macrocosm.
It's a good life lesson. We have the entire U.S. Fourth Estate, the media, doing everything they can to make sure that Putin is considered sort of a Hitler type.
Right.
And look, we're not saying we support the war. We absolutely do not support the war. But what we do is analyze news and deconstruct the media. And when you do that, it's obvious that the U.S. media wants to create a narrative, paint a picture.
Yeah, paint a picture.
And it's even more confusing when Putin comes to the rescue of one of the most beloved American patriotic Robin Hood characters. While, I mean, Trump was elected on the promise he was going to pardon Snowden. Yeah. I believe Biden even mentioned it. Politicians flip-flop all the time on this. And yet nobody has ever done anything about it, except for Putin. What a confusing thing.
Look at that. Look at
Putin. Does it say the actual date? That
he said Monday. It says Monday here.
Today.
Yeah, today. So literally today is just a monumental September 26th. Will go down in history as
big day.
Continued unraveling or the revealing of the whole system here.
Something. Yeah. It's like anti-authority day or something.
Anti-authority celebration day.
So Edward Snowden getting Russian citizenship and Stanislav Petrov saving the world by not respecting his.
Not respecting the Russian authorities, yeah.
Yeah, that should be on the calendar.
Yeah, 100%. And we're just getting started.
We're just getting
Monday.
started, and we got more going on. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the calendar in a second.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Gary, what day is it? Monday. Gary, what day is it? Monday.
Whee. It is Monday, Gons. How you feeling today?
Feel like you just threw a cup of coffee all over me.
Okay, so why don't you explain to us what this is?
There's nothing to explain. There's a
oh, you're
GIF.
just having fun. Well, hold on. For those who don't follow us on Twitter, it seemed like you had a couple extra minutes today and created a very fun meme, a very fun meme GIF. What inspired this?
I've been playing with the meme GIF generator, and it is way too easy now. It took me 10 seconds to make
10 seconds?
About 10 seconds. Well, I'll say 30. 30 seconds to make this thing.
What a beautiful world we live in.
Technology changing the world. But yeah, it's I don't know what show this is from. It's some show. Guy throws another guy a cup of coffee, splatters all over him. It's actually Basil. Basil throws a cup of coffee. That's how I felt waiting for you today. It's like, all right, let's get going. We got a show.
Sure
we get show day. Let's go.
Not sure why. Okay.
And then, just to here's some coffee for your chest.
You're allowed to have feelings, Gons.
I
that
know.
is something that I'm constantly reminding you, and I'm sticking by it, even at my own meme expense, memeable expense.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have that much to say. No.
Everyone's wanting to know more about your little trip, but
which one?
The big one to Black Rock City.
You're talking about Burning Man?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Right now, you and I are in the midst of production on the official Burning Man episodes. And I don't know. Do you have a question? Why don't you ask me a question?
A question?
Yeah, because I don't know. I feel like I've given most of my planned teasers, and more of the details and more of the fun will be in the official episodes. But if there's a question out there, I'm happy to answer it.
I don't know about a question, but I think people just, at the very least, would like to hear the jingle.
Disaster.
Welcome to the camp of the unknown
Coming to you live from
Burning Man.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, see? Does it bring you back?
Yeah, okay. Let me see if I can muster up a story that I hadn't told yet.
Here's a question. Why is it taking so long?
Because, well, okay.
I already know the answer. I just
I'm saying if anybody has missed the rest of the Burning Man updates, you know that pretty much all of the recordings that I did at Burning Man were taken from me, were destroyed, or they're just lost. They're floating around out in the desert somewhere. So we have been, I have been taking time doing interviews. Some are re-interviews, some are new interviews, some led to interviews I never would have done if it weren't for the disasters that happened during Burning Man. So we are getting a bunch of interviews, and we are going to be putting them together into what I think is going to be maybe one of our best Burning Man research episodes yet.
Will it be the return of Canary Cry Radio? That's what everyone wants to know.
Well, that is something for you and I to have decided on, but I think we decided yes.
I think so.
I think we decided that, yes, this 2022 Burning Man Research Report episode will be the return of Canary Cry Radio. It will mark, I'm not going to say it's going to be coming out every week after that, but we are moving into a season where it is obvious to us that we are sort of being called back to now find a balance between Canary Cry Radio and Canary Cry News Talk.
Yeah.
But we'll keep everybody posted on that.
For sure. Okay.
Well, with that, I do want to thank some of our executive producers.
Executive producers.
That's right. We are on the value for value model, folks. That means we take no corporate money whatsoever. No advertising, no affiliate codes, no platform partnerships, no nothing. It is the most unstable way to keep a media property going, but it helps us sleep at night knowing that we are not participating in the monolithic economic information control structure that is corporate money in independent media. If you're listening to or watching a show that says they are independent media, but they take corporate money, what are they even independent from? Do you know? Because I don't know. But not here, folks. No corporate money whatsoever. We are entirely funded by our producers. And who are they? They are you. People who get value out of what we do know that it can only continue if people put value back in. It's a beautiful system because when we stop producing value, Gons, we'll know it. And we will fade off into obscurity, even more brutal obscurity than we're already in. But
there's an attraction to that, by the way. There's
it is sometimes an attractive idea.
Just the idea of just disappearing.
Disappearing is always fun. But today is not that day because we have producers coming in, producing the show. Remember, folks, you can produce this show with your time, your talent, or your treasure. Lots of ways to produce the show, but the executive producers are those who come in financially to carry a heavy burden, take that burden off the rest of us and help us go. Well, they go a long way to keep us going, and that's why we want to thank them. Now, are you ready, Gons?
Ready.
Okay. We're going to start off with executive producer Rab.
Thank you, Rab.
Executive producer Rab coming in with the 133.33 plus fees.
133, which means he is Illuminatus. Confirmed.
We have a note here. Hello. I have increased my monthly donations as a sign that I value all your work, and this is a quote, laborers are worth their wages. Wow, that means a lot. Thank you very much, Rab. I also want to dedicate this executive producership to PayPal. Oh, that's nice. With 2 fingers dipped in vinegar and poked into their eyes. So that's so UK-y.
Yeah, Rab from
2
UK.
fingers dipped in vinegar, and it's like
is that what they do to
kind
kids?
of got like a Monty Python vibe or something.
Yeah.
Finally, I'm an old chap, but I have managed to sort out a Rockfin account, and if I can do it, so can all you whippersnappers.
Whippersnappers.
And then in parentheticals, he says young folk. Rab, I love you. You must be old, though, if you think that we don't know what whippersnappers means. I'm just messing with you. If things get worse with PayPal, etc., would you consider direct debit / standing orders, etc., to your bank accounts to bypass the overlords? God bless you both, and come on the Canarians. Thank you very much, executive producer Rab. Yeah, I don't know exactly what the alternatives that we will go with are yet, but we do. That is one of our current priorities, is to find alternatives and probably get them spun up before it's too late, before PayPal gets rid of us. So we will be giving information on that sooner rather than later, hopefully.
Send us treasure boxes with gold.
Well, we do have the P.O. box. Lots there. Well, not lots, but some people send us the old-fashioned way, either cash or checks or something, to the P.O. box. You can find that information at canarycryradio.com/support. Thank you very much, executive producer Rab. I hope that sufficiently doesn't answer your question.
Thank you, Rab.
Where'd you find this?
Okay, we have another executive producer here, and I'm a little confused about the name. I'm going to call this executive producer EP538. That's what I'm going to call them.
I think that's episode 538.
No, I know.
Okay.
But listen to the note. You'll understand.
I see.
So I think this is executive producer EP538. If you'd like another name, we're happy to give you credit on another episode. The note reads 10010 ... 100.10. It came in with $100.10 plus fees. Thank you very much, EP538. This is especially for the 538 show name. What is this? What was the show title of EP538?
Title? I'm blanking now. Let's see. NyQuil Spill was last one. It was We Tried to Tell You.
We Tried to Tell You. Okay. Yeah. I met the Dame number long ago, but couldn't think of a name. Was always thinking of, and since Friday's show had the name. That's my pick, EP538. So it's either Dame...
so Dame EP538 or Dame We Tried to Tell You.
That's right. One of those. We will be reaching out for a clarification.
We'll get clear.
And if you'd like to be credited with your correct name, whatever that might be, you just let me know. But until then, thank you very much, executive producer EP538. We tried
Where'd
to tell
you find this?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I don't know what this person, producer.
We need to reach out and get some more data. But thank you very much. Yep. We have one more executive producer, and she's back. She's back. It's executive producer Felicia D.
Felicia D. Back again. Yeah. Thank you.
Back again. No notes. No nothing.
Here's a question: is this a producer streak?
No.
Okay.
The executive producer streak.
Executive producer streak. Yes.
I do not think Felicia D was on last episode's list.
Just checking.
But thank you very much to all of our executive producers. You guys go a long way to making this happen. But the rest of you producers, don't you get all skittish now. Don't worry. All of our producers are important, and we love them, and we can't do the show without them. So remember, it doesn't matter the amount. It doesn't matter how often.
Frequency.
Every single producership in every single form means a lot to us, not just personally, but also we just couldn't do the show without you. Yeah. So if you'd like to know more about becoming a producer, you can head on over to canarycryradio.com/support. canarycryradio.com/support. And I do want to mention, while we're at it, the Canary Cry calendar. And this is in conjunction with the Canary Cry supply drop.
Supply drop.
canarycrysupply.drop.com. canarycrysupply.drop.com. Go check it out. This is a very special program that has become treasured amongst ourselves and amongst the producers. And that's for those who produce the show, sign up to commit to produce the show for $33 a month. Not only are you making the choice to join the team on what keeps this show going, and our Supply Drop producers have saved our butts month after month this year, but you also start receiving free gifts. That's how grateful we are. We send out the Supply Drop 4 times a year, chock-a-block full with custom created, artist-designed, made-in-America Canary Cry gear. And the reason we're so excited about this fourth quarter, the 4th shipment of the year, is because it's Canary Cry calendar time, which is one of the it's one of the most beloved traditions around here. We have our Canary Cry calendar producers who, there's artists who create art for every month. There's the producers who fill the calendar with important dates and holidays and things like that, pertaining to the show, pertaining to the Bible, pertaining to secret societies, pertaining to world history, things like that. It is really the most fun, the most eclectic calendar ever put together. And if you listen to this show and you like this show, you're really going to love the calendar. And this year, the only way to get the calendar is it's going to be sent out through the Supply Drop system. So head to canarycrysupply.drop.com and sign up. We'll be sending that calendar out in December, but don't wait. Sign up now, because there's some bonus things that are first come, first serve. But we have another update on the Canary Cry calendar, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We have a couple episodes ago, we had the first January reveal, and today we have February by Sir Darren S. Night of the Hungry Pandas. And so it's it's the Denver Airport mural. It's kind of a retro wave style.
His name's Lucifer, or Blucifer is what they call him.
The blue horse that you, if you're in a train headed towards the Denver airport, you'll see him with the red glowy eyes, and so it's a version of him, and then also a tower with the Masonic symbol on it.
Yeah,
great
this
job.
Is a wonderful piece, as all of Sir Darren's pieces are magnificent. This is, what is this, the February art?
Yes, February.
Yeah. Nuts. I'm looking for it. I can't find it. I guess I'll just use the monitor for the show. Yes, it's the February art. Magnificent piece by Sir Darren, Night of the Hungry Pandas. And you got Lucifer there. It's like a postcard. And it's got the control tower, the air traffic control tower in the background with the Freemasonic symbol. Really a magnificent piece for February. It makes me wonder, do you have the February piece? The February calendar in front of you. Is there a Denver airport-based holiday in February?
I got to pull it off the wall to check that, so I don't know if I want to do that right now.
Okay, well
asking too much of me, buddy.
Yeah, I'm asking a lot. I know.
There's a lot of buttons to press already.
But I'm assuming that must be the case.
Something like that,
the art refers to the things on the calendar. So there you go. The calendar is going to be awesome. Everybody who's ever gotten it says it's one of the most special things that they have. And we really just want to get as many of these out there as possible. So go to Canary Cry Supply Drop and sign up. Not only are you producing the show, but you are also receiving lots of free gifts for your generosity. Man.
You're good?
We are just cruising. We do have meetups. We have a meetup, don't we? A meetup report.
Yeah, we got a lot. We can move that because there's a lot going on.
Let's move it. Yeah. This has been a long enough break. Let's do that in the next break.
Okay.
Welcome to Chinese news.
No.
What?
Flippy.
Oh yeah. Look how much you've confused me because we're so far behind.
Me. I've confused him.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right. It's time for the Flippy update. Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We've been talking about Flippy for 6 or 7 years as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways that robots are taking over the world and how there's nothing we can do about it. Big day! And I'm glad we have a UK executive producer, because this is pertinent to his experience of the world. This is coming from Futurism.com. Futurism.com has a headline here. Deranged scheme proposes mounting Queen's coffin on robot arm.
There it is. It's made royalty.
Subheadline, maybe they're onto something. They may call it deranged, but it's not quite the worst idea they've ever heard. There are few things as quintessentially English as cues and the Queen. Queen Elizabeth II's death at the ripe old age of 96 and her impending funeral has brought those two corners of English life together outside Westminster Hall, resulting in a line over 5 miles long to view and pay respects to her coffin. Saying it's become a logistical nightmare would be an understatement. When the waiting time reached 14 hours earlier this Friday. This came out about a week ago. Officials had to temporarily suspend the queue for 6 hours. It's now been reopened, but for the poor suckers at the back of the line, they've been warned it might take them a full 24 hours or longer before they finally reach the Queen's coffin. Surely there must be a way to speed up the process.
Of course.
Enter royal robots. On that front, the internet has once again delivered, with artist Richard Perry tweeting a detailed and deeply tongue-in-cheek video of a deranged solution, mounting the Queen's coffin on a robotic arm. And there's a video here, which I think deserves... Is there a voiceover on this video?
Yes.
Okay, let's play the video.
Okay, here we go.
Hi everyone. I think I've finally got a solution for the Queen's coffin lining up problem. The problem that we're having really is that it's taking about 30 hours for people to get through it, that's just unconscionable. So I think the way that it's running right now is that people are queuing up either side of the coffin and they're sort of doing their last respects. This is not efficient. We're giving the Queen has got a lot more surface area than we're giving her credit for. We need to get rid of that. So what I'm proposing is that we mount the Queen to a Kawasaki robotic arm, and we bust out all the windows in Westminster in the hall, and we move the Queen around on the Kawasaki arm so everyone gets a good view of her. And this way, I mean, the view, it's going to be quick, but you do get to see it. This way we can handle about, I think it's 80 mourners per second, so that's pretty good. We can handle the entire country of 67 million people within about 3 days. So that's pretty good. That's just in time for the funeral. Let me know what you think. I don't know if if we want to get this off the ground, we're probably going to have to start pretty soon.
Okay, so while they're playing, for those people who are just listening to the audio, there was a whole CGI creation to go with it.
A masterpiece. That's what I call it. A masterpiece of the plan, which showed a giant Kawasaki robotic arm lift up the Queen's coffin and sort of rotate it around and show it off to people as they are escorted through a sort of a four-way maze
tunnel. There are 4 tunnels that crisscross around
a glass-covered tunnel.
Glass-covered tunnel that you would go through, and they do a sort of a first-person view of what it would look like if you're in the tunnel.
Yeah,
and you'd get a little peek.
Look, and it may sound ridiculous, but it was tasteful. It was tasteful and respectful as this robotic arm sort of wields the Queen's coffin like some sort of medieval weapon as people walk around or are sort of bust around it to take a look. Look, this was obviously a bit of a joke, but I don't think it's that far off. Now, the thing that really struck me with this is part of what we've been following with Flippy is like, okay, human being, what problem do you have? What problem? Name any problem. That's your problem. Oh, robotic arm can fix it.
Yeah.
Robot arm will fix it. Doesn't matter what your problem is. Slap a robot arm on it, and boom, humanity's problems are solved. And this was a beautiful sort of application of that concept, which sounds silly, but it literally has been the messaging for years now, for at least a half a decade. The messaging is, no matter what humanity's problem is, a robotic arm can fix it. And we noticed this early on, and that's the whole reason for the Flippy update. And to have it applied to what's our current problem? Oh, we can't show off the Queen's coffin fast enough. Well, slap a robot arm on it. Baby Flippy will take us to the promised land. Let's go, giant robot arm. And of course, there's a little tongue-in-cheek, a little disrespectful or respectful, depending on your thoughts about the robot arm. But I think as we've seen over and over and over, this idea will become less and less of a joke in the near.
Yeah, this guy will be seen as a prophet in 2042 or something.
He's ahead of his time. He's kind of like us, We're always about 10 years ahead of our time, where, we'll report and make a big deal about something, and 10 years later it becomes the biggest news story of the day. Well, I think this guy's is on the right track there. I'll give it 10 years before we start showing off heads of state coffins by robotic arm.
The other thing that I think is important to point out here is this also assumes that whizzing by something is the equivalent of seeing it or, paying respects or actually visiting it.
I think paying respects is a good,
Yeah. So, I mean, you get on a train, you get on an airplane, sometimes the captain will chime in, like, run over to the right or the Appalachian Mountains or whatever. Doesn't mean you really soaked in the location, right? You're whizzing past it.
Yeah, of course. That's absolutely correct, Gons, because everybody knows you haven't fully experienced something until you've taken a selfie with it. You at least need the chance to take a selfie with the Queen's coffin.
That'll be the thing.
Maybe you set up an automatic camera, kind of like on a ride, like a Disney ride. You don't even know when or where they take the picture, but you get off the ride and boom, there's your picture.
Yeah, well, in your phone or your device or microchip or whatever at this point will know that you're driving past it, and it'll do all the all the necessary data mining to capture that you were there, you got the selfie, the whole deal. So yeah, this is perfect.
You can purchase the digital file for $20 in the gift shop as you exit the Queen's funeral gift shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope her bones are in there tight, because with this thing spinning around, I mean, those bones.
It's interesting. They made it sound like she's not even in there, or maybe that was like the way they could kind of get away with reporting the story without being disrespectful. Because they didn't say the robot arm would swing the Queen around. They kept saying it'd swing the coffin around. I don't know. Well, there you go. There's your Flippy update for the day, everybody.
Yeah, stop trying to be an apologist for the Flippy arm there.
Oh, I'm trying to make sure that this artist doesn't go to jail for just being ahead of his time.
Sure. All right, now can we do China now? We can do China?
I'm ready.
Welcome to Chinese news. Comes from China. Racist at all, no.
Got a couple things from China. Obviously, very interesting weekend, and we'll get to that story. But before we do, I'm going to bring you this story from science.org.
Ooh, official.
Yeah, because science is truth, Basil. We already know about this. Dr. Fauci told us.
Science is truth.
So, given that premise, the headline here, China bets big on brain research with massive cash infusion and openness to monkey studies. I like how they put that. They're just open to it, They haven't done anything yet. At least that's what you think when you read the headline. After 5 years of planning and debate, China has finally launched its ambitious contribution to neuroscience, the China Brain Project, CBP. Budgeted at 5 billion yuan, about $746 million. Under the latest 5-year plan, the CBP will likely get additional money under future plans, putting it in the same language as the U.S. Brain Research Through Advancing Innovative Neurotechnologies BRAIN Initiative, which awarded $2.4 billion in its grants through 2021. And the EU Human Brain Project, budgeted at 607, I think that's pounds, 607 million pounds. It's about $585 million for the 10 years through 2023. The project, quote, is really on the move, says one of its architects, neuroscientist Mu Ming Poo.
Mu Ming Poo.
Mu Ming Poo. Look, I'm not here to make fun of anybody's cultures. Being,
how is it spelled? Do you have a spelling for us?
MU-MING. That's Mu Ming. Last name Poo, P-O-O.
It is P-O-O.
It is P-O-O.
Okay, all right.
Somebody should have told them to change it to U or something.
Nobody should have done anything, Gons. It's just two different cultures. It's a happy coincidence is what it is.
Or the American intelligence agencies thought that just go with the P-O-O. It's just better for us. It's more entertaining for us. Poo, head of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, Institute of Neuroscience. The details of the project remain murky, but China's researchers, quote, seem to be building on their strengths, which is great, says neuroscientist Robert Desimone of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, who accepts money from the Chinese government. That's not what it says. Who collaborates with colleagues in China. That's how they put it there. The CBP focuses on 3 broad areas: the neural basis of cognitive functions, diagnosing and treating brain disorders, and brain-inspired computing. Monkey studies will play a key role or key part in the research, and project leaders hope the virtual absence of animal rights activism in China will help lure talent from overseas. Parentheses. Poo himself studied and worked in the United States for 40 years, including a decade at the University of California, Berkeley.
That's a lifetime. So he spent his whole lifetime working for the U.S. or in the U.S.
And moved to China full-time in 2019. And then it goes into a little bit of the history of neuroscience. So we don't need to necessarily
2019 is an interesting year because that's when...
2009.
Oh, 9.
Did I say 19? Sorry, 2009.
You did.
Yeah, I meant 2019. Who will benefit most from the plan is hard to determine. Science, the magazine here, science.org, could not find any official announcements of the award to designated centers or grant recipients, and Poo declined to provide such numbers. Calls to China's Ministry of Science and Technology seeking information proved futile. Still, Desmond said it's clear that CBP, with its focus on treatment and basic work with primates, complements the U.S. and EU schemes. The BRAIN Initiative, and it gets into some of the history there. Let me get to the part here where it says China is already a leader in another CBP focus area, the development of disease models in monkeys. Poo's team made headlines in 2019 by combining cloning with gene editing to produce 5 genetically identical macaques. That's how I say it, like macaques. Sorry, macaques. Macaques that lacked a key gene regulating the circadian clock. The cloning proved inefficient. The group used 325 gene-edited embryos and 65 surrogate females to create the 5 animals. But the gene deletion had dramatic effects. The animals exhibit sleep disorders, increased anxiety, and depression. Poo's group has also used gene editing to produce monkeys predisposed of Alzheimer's disease. Other ION researchers are developing techniques for crippling genes in monkeys to induce symptoms of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, says Stanford University neuroscientist Aaron Gittler, who studies ALS and has spent the past year on sabbatical at ION. Poo intends to share his team's animal models, but because major airlines no longer carry non-human primates as cargo, researchers will have to visit the International Center for Primate Brain Research, which receives funding from the city of Shanghai and CAS and is not part of the CBP. The center's led by Poo. So he's like
pushing the limits. He's pushing the limits on really the state-of-the-art gene editing and
Yeah, and
other things.
The whole takeaway is, they don't have the same kind of the activists in China. In the U.S., you got all your animal activists, you got PETA, you got all these people knocking down at your door when you're trying to gene edit monkeys. So let's just go to China. They don't mind as much over there. The center is led by Poo and neuroscientist Nikos Logothetis. I think it's interesting that Logothetis is in the name, who over the past 2 years moved most of his team from the Max Planck Institute for Biological Cybernetics after his lab was targeted by animal rights activists.
Biological Cybernetics.
Max Planck Institute, too.
Yeah, Max Planck, obviously. The Max Planck Institute being a big part of that as well. Wow. So you got gene editing, you've got biological cybernetics, which can include two things. That can be building computers out of biological, like bodies or neurons or whatever, or implementing cybernetics into bodies.
Yeah. The quote from Logothesis, he declined to comment in an interview request, but he said, there is some, this is someone commenting on it, said, quote, there is some but not a lot of concern about animals used in research, but there is no animal rights groups focusing on this area, says Deborah Cowell, an animal law and welfare expert at Griffin University, Nathan. Still, Chinese researchers are striving to, quote, replace, reduce, and refine animal experiments, says Ji Dai, a neuroscientist at CAS's Shenzhen Institute of Advanced Technology. Even in China, policies of handling animals are getting stricter, he says. So we'll see how it all plays out. Another question is whether political friction between China and the West will dent cooperation. Desimone sees little impact of life science collaboration at the moment, quote, but I don't have a crystal ball about international tensions in the future. And so there you go. China's got some stuff going on. They're taking American-developed scientists to do their bidding. But they can't share anything back because the geopolitical tensions between China and the U.S. are just so bad right now.
Well, knowing what we know now about the Confucius Institutes, the brain drain, the corporate espionage that China has been perpetrating for, about 40 years.
Yeah, all the time.
This Poo fella, more than likely, there have been no indictments that I know of, but more than likely was siphoning off, American developments in these areas and feeding them to China.
100%.
And then was kind of called back in 2009. And
the long game.
Yeah. Oh, they play the long game. They play it very well.
And that's not all, because NBC News, this is not some blog, this is not some weird Rumble video.
Yeah.
NBC News had this headline: scientists at America's top nuclear lab were recruited by China to design missiles and drones, report says. NBC News. At least 154 Chinese scientists who worked on government-sponsored research at the U.S.'s foremost national security laboratory over the last 2 decades have been recruited to do scientific work in China, some of which helped advance military technology that threatens American national security, according to a new private intelligence report obtained by NBC News. The report by Strider's Technologies describes what it calls a systemic effort by the government of China to place Chinese scientists at Los Alamos National Laboratory, where nuclear weapons were first developed. Many of the scientists were later lured back to China to help make advances in such technologies as deep earth penetrating warheads, hypersonic missiles, quiet submarines, and drones, according to the report. I mean, come on, man. Deep earth penetrating warheads.
Yeah, all the coolest, fanciest science fiction war-fighting technology developed in the U.S. and stolen by China. Again, This is great.
There you go. It's all being admitted now, which is very interesting. You can't really have a war unless you really have all of the dirty deeds laid out on the table. So I think it's very interesting.
And a lot of this stuff. Yeah, a lot of this stuff was the
Confucius
the purview
Institute.
Of crazy conspiracy tinfoil hat people. And now it's just right there in the mainstream. That's always fun. That's wonderful. Now, speaking of tinfoil hats. We're not the only ones. The U.S., we are number one in tinfoil hats, but China's kind of sneaking up on us. They're trying to take that title as well. This is interesting. Some background, just a second of background, and the rest is explained. So we know, we've mentioned how Xi Jinping, the authoritarian leader of China, does technically have an election this year. Mm-hmm. And he wouldn't have an election except for he's using his power as the sort of sovereign of China to change the rules to allow him to, get elected again and basically be king of China forever. Yeah. It's a common pattern. China. Yeah, it's a common pattern. Interestingly enough, Putin did the exact same thing. So, Putin and China are friends. So maybe Putin's helping out with Xi Jinping's,
if anybody takes out G, I hope it's Poo. Then you can have the Putin meeting. Oh, it'd be so
is there
great
a
for the world.
Poo and Putin connection there? That's the real question.
Yeah, it's at the top of the show.
Well, let's head over to Newsweek. Now, Newsweek, as we know from the Harvard Media Lab document, which we refer to often, has mysterious funding, which kind of hints
funding,
to... What's that?
Unclear funding are the direct words.
There's some mysterious, unclear funding of the news network, which to us or to the discerning individual, it kind of connotes probably intelligence operation.
Well,
so keep that in mind.
The guy who co-founded International Business Times bought Newsweek, and in 2017 the company was rebranded as Newsweek Media Group. So it was International Business Times too.
Right,
anyway.
which also had some connections to intelligence operations. And just keep in mind, we talk about something called the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act, it's been around for quite a few decades, but then was revamped and modernized by Obama in 2013. And we've talked about how that works. And keep that in mind as we read from Newsweek, mysteriously funded news outlet. Here's the headline. Xi Jinping trends online amid coup rumors. Canceled flights. Chinese President Xi Jinping became one of the top trending topics on Twitter amid unsubstantiated reports he is under house arrest and that China is in the midst of a military coup.
Sound familiar?
Yeah, right. Xi and the phrase China coup trended on social media after tens of thousands of users spread unconfirmed rumors that the president was detained and overthrown by China's People's Liberation Army. Military coup guns, military tribunals, cleaning up the act, draining the swamp. It's very interesting connections to some similar election year conspiracy theories that were floating around the U.S. And if you haven't made the connection now, what we are reading is basically an exact carbon copy of what in the U.S. came to be known as QAnon. But now they're doing QAnon in China. It's the exact same storyline.
China coup, get it? Coup on. But not so on.
This speculation, which has not been discussed by any reputable sources, arrived as there are hardly any commercial flights flying over the capital of Beijing on Saturday. I think this is interesting. This also almost directly reflects a lot of QAnon stuff, because remember when it came to, and I'm not calling every flight-based conspiracy theory QAnon, but if you remember a couple years ago during the election, some of the most popular sources of claims
about some kind of arrest,
conspiratorial claims, come from flight tracking accounts. People who track flights, they track the FAA, they see mysterious planes with weird call signs taking off at weird times of night and flying here and there, and that fuels, I will say, it fueled a lot of the QAnon stuff during the election. Speculation, which has not been discussed by any reputable sources, arrived as there are hardly any commercial flights flying over the capital of Beijing on Saturday, with unverified reports claiming all trains and buses are also being canceled out of Beijing. Beijing Capital Airport's website does show that several flights out of China's capital have been canceled, but many others are still scheduled or already landed. There has also been reports the flights were canceled amid a planned military exercise.
Yeah, like that's any better.
Yeah, which is also, that's always been one of the explanations for a lot of the Q stuff too. A widely shared video posted on Twitter is also reported to show a line of military vehicles up to 80 kilometers long heading into Beijing amid reports of a military coup on September 22nd. However, the video is less than 1 minute long, so does not show if the line of military vehicles stretches 80 kilometers.
Thanks, Newsweek.
Cool fact check.
Thanks, Newsweek.
It's not long enough to see 80 kilometers. It is not confirmed when or where it was filmed, or that the convoy is heading into Beijing as part of a military coup. The rumor was also fueled by Indian politician Subramanian Swamy, who tweeted to his 10 million followers on Saturday, quote, "New rumor to be checked out. Is Xi Jinping under house arrest in Beijing? When Xi was in Samarkand recently, the leaders of the Chinese Communist Party were supposed to have removed Xi from the party's in charge of army. Then house arrest followed. So goes the rumor." In a series of tweets, Drew Thompson, a former Department of Defense official for China, Taiwan, and Mongolia, described the rumors as a complete falsehood. Now, again, in connection to the Smith Modernization Act, it was reported that over 700 of India's news websites were basically fake and were being used by intelligence agencies to put out information. And that's kind of the base, the foundation of how Smith-Mundt works, which is the U.S. can put out propaganda in foreign outlets and then report those foreign outlets on the mainland, and that's how you kind of launder information without sort of directly lying to Americans. You lie through an international outlet.
Right.
So, and it's usually India, honestly.
Yeah, it is true.
And so this was an interesting detail that all this started with an Indian tweet.
And also, just a side note, Saturday, which was September 24th. I don't know if you have recalled the September 24th, the 23rd, 24th usually is every year. There's a little bit of a something's going down. There
was a lot of that this year too.
So
a lot of speculation about the 24th of September. Some people were saying it had to do with Deutsche Bank. Some people had said, some German politician said something about the 24th of September. There's a lot of apocalyptic talk about the 24th of September this year.
Yeah.
Did you follow any of that? Because I didn't really.
I saw some posts on it. And I didn't really go down the rabbit trail, but it's always sort of the same thing every year.
Yeah.
But just to point it out, because it does confirm that bias. Like, see, something went down. Xi Jinping, was taken out.
So the rest of this article is just kind of playing tag with quotes. It's like this. Here's a quote from this guy. No, it's fake. It didn't happen. Here's a quote from this guy. Yes, it's kind of weird, huh? Perhaps it happened. And it goes back and forth about 4 times. But it does end the article with President Xi was recently at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization (SCO) Leaders' Summit in Samarkand, Uzbekistan, where he held talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Maybe it was a Russian coup. Coup.
We got a poo coup, baby.
Putin coup.
And this has got so much attention for a lot of reasons, but I mean there are outlets all over the internet trying to figure out if this is true or not. Of course, it would be huge if it was true, but it is so fascinating that they jumped on it so early.
Yeah.
Because we are sort of post-QAnon, and as we know, it took the media 4 years, 5 years, something like that, to start reporting on QAnon.
It's probably a little less than that. I think it might have been about 2 years.
Maybe 3. Yeah,
2 or 3 years.
Yeah, something. Well, anyways. Yeah, so it's interesting how they jumped right on it, which is a little suspicious and makes me think that they're sort of being allowed to jump on it or something. Now, the print.in, another Indian outlet, has here's an example of it. Here's how rumors of Xi Jinping's arrest and coup started. And it's a nice sort of dense article that basically sums it up that there was a Chinese defector?
Yeah, so this article says, this is the paragraph that I have highlighted here, the rumor started when a journalist named Zhao Lanjian, who is in exile in the U.S. after escaping from China, made unsubstantiated claims on Twitter about mass flight cancellations because of unexplained reasons. The claim was picked up by the Chinese spiritual movement. Falun Gong-backed media networks, including New Tang Dynasty, or NTD TV, and overseas Chinese YouTuber Jennifer Zheng. The latter
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because if we're making the comparison to QAnon, as we
picked up by the spiritual people of America.
As we followed in its many forms, QAnon, there was Christian QAnon, there was New Age QAnon, there was Wiccan QAnon. The spiritual community was leveraged in its many different forms to really gain ground with the QAnon. So here with QAnon, it's very interesting that it's, again, not only is it basically a carbon copy of QAnon from 2019, but it's also using the exact same strategy.
Yeah, there's nothing new under the sun.
And as we sort of pulled at the threads with QAnon, it seemed like something akin to a CIA PSYOP controlled by intelligence agencies. So, they're not the most creative folks. If they find something that works, they're just going to do it again.
Again, sports ball analogy. There's certain coaches and stuff that have come up with a system. If that system works, other people use it, and everybody knows who the originator of that system is. It's kind of like that. Yeah. You wouldn't understand. AsiaMarkets.com also had it. China coup rumors squashed by state media. And I think this one had social media users, including respected Chinese economic and political observers, question the reason behind the cancellation of over 9,000 flights across China mainland. So it's just interesting how different outlets credit different people for starting the rumor. This one was respected Chinese economic and political observers. Whereas, the print.in was, detractors, journalists in exile. So it's just, nobody knows for sure. And we're not even claiming to know for sure what went down. We don't know. We're not there. Right. But just looking at the media spin and reporting on this, especially since it came from Newsweek, and Newsweek using that good old 1984 doublespeak of no reputable sources have discussed this topic except us. We are Newsweek, and we will give you the truth because no other reputable sources have discussed it. So,
even the very phrase "China coup rumors quashed by state media" is such a crafty way to get. It's like sticky paper to the QAnon type folks.
Right.
Because it's like, yes, if the state media denies it, it's true. And so you can really bolster a conspiracy theory simply by saying that, state media says it's false, so therefore. It's a very elegant system that they worked out with QAnon, but it's pretty obvious that it's just copy paste.
It is. I know. It's it's a strategy that works. And the algorithms probably told them, oh, the religious people are the easiest ones to fool.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're targeting specifically in America and in China the same types of people that seem to have religious or spiritual worldview.
Yeah.
So,
or at least the sort of alliance between intelligence or control apparatus and certain religious organizations.
Yeah.
We know, and we've seen documented ourselves, how governments ally themselves with popular religious organizations as a control mechanism. And so, if you have a message you want to get out, such as some sort of QAnon type psyop, all you got to do is call your buddies over at the religious organization, and you scratch their back, they scratch yours, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Again, it's kind of the same thing we saw with Q.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. So we'll keep an eye out. We don't know. I highly doubt there's been a military coup of Xi Jinping. But as information becomes available, certainly we'll be bringing it to the show.
Go to canarycry.party and go party. Canarycry.party is a website with a tree of links that leads to everything from where to listen to the show, watch the show, how to produce the show, connect with us and the community.
That's right. There's all sorts of great stuff there. You can see Ravel is a podcast I do with Dr. Christopher Ryan Gates. He's a PhD in biblical interpretation. We explore society, scripture, and scandal, having tough conversations in good faith. We'll have a new episode of that up very, very soon, so keep an eye out for that. You can also follow the Canary Cry Clips channel. Highly suggest you do that. That's a YouTube and an Odyssey channel that clips out this very show piece by piece into shareable, careable, bite-sized segments. You can review information. You can use it to send, shorter topic matter-based videos with your friends or your social media, which please do that. That would be very nice. And go follow Canary Cry Clips on YouTube and Odyssey. And you can also join the text message alert system. That's right. You can get text messages sent directly to your phone, letting you know when we are live, especially when the big platforms don't send you notifications, which happens often. All you got to do is text the word Canary to 877-740-3226. That's Canary to 877-740-3226. Oh, yeah.
Let's do meetups real quick.
I was going to suggest.
Canary Cry Meetup.
You go to canarycrymeetups.com, you will see that there are meetups, people, real human beings just like you, that are meeting up around the country, sometimes even the world, to get together with Canarians. Find friends in your area. Some people are finding their best friends, their soulmates, their spouses, or just meeting other people who they have a lot in common with. So go check it out. Let's see. We're getting to the end of the month here. The last one for this month will be in Mountain View, Arkansas, the 28th through the 30th. Go check that out. surrealgray@gmail.com is the host there. But Saturday, Gons, we had the St. Paul, Minnesota. We had the Twin Cities meetup.
That's right. Yeah. And we actually got a message from Chibi, I believe. Yeah. And there's a photo accompanying it for people watching, and here's a note.
Hello, it's Chibi. Hi. I don't know what to say. Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. It was fun. We talked. It was great. We talked about Basil. Anyways,
Oh no.
Greetings from St. Paul, Minneapolis meetup, the land of the frozen chosen. This is Faye Livrin, and we got 8 Canarians together. Peace.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Jason T. Had a great time at the meetup. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Hi, Basil and guys. This is Tim. Great meetup. Thanks.
Hello, this is Luke, and yes, it was a great meetup. It was fun. And awesome.
Luke.
Hi, Basil and Gons. Glad I came.
Think
Me
outside
too.
the cage.
There we go. Fun.
Hey, guys, thanks for all you do. God bless your ministry, from Shane.
This is Timothy T., a longtime listener, big fan. God bless you. Keep up the good work.
Wee.
STP.
STP, yeah.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
I'm not sure either.
All right. Well, fun.
Yeah,
Sounds like a fun group over there. That's a nice little group. Eight people getting together, causing trouble, making a ruckus, talking about me. Uh-oh, Guns.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing over there talking about here. Maybe plotting something? Plotting.
Sounds like plotting. They sound like some plotters.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to the Twin Cities Canary and meetup over there. Sounds like you guys had a lot of fun. And you can too, dear listener. Just head on over to canarycrymeetups.com. You can see all the meetups that are set for the rest of the year. And if you don't see one near you, you can put one on yourself. It's easy. You just pick a time, pick a place, and we will put it on the website. We'll tell the world, and you can make a bunch of new friends. Go do that.
This is fun.
Oh yeah, forgot to mention too. They sent in that picture. It was a great picture.
Yeah,
it was 7 or 8 people, and they photoshopped big googly eyes over everybody's face, keeping the anonymity. I love it.
Yeah, this is going to become more of a thing. I feel that the signaling, the PFP project must have the googly eyes. That's all I will say.
All right. Well, let's thank some producers, Gons.
It's break time.
Yep, we're going to take a quick break. Thank a few more producers because they are the ones keeping this show going. You know, it's always funny. There's, of course, on the forums and the groups and things like that, there's always the couple guys who are like, I hate the breaks. I've seen this so many times. So if you're out there and you're thinking about making this comment, just know that it's a pretty common one. I would produce the show, but the breaks are too long. Let me tell you a little secret. No, you wouldn't. No, you would not. You're just saying that to make a point. Because you can, right now, produce the show and just ask to not be credited. So if you're trying to make a point that you would produce, but the breaks are too long, you don't want to make them longer, it's just not a good point, okay? But these are the people. The reason we thank them is the show would not exist without these people. You're welcome to skip the break if you want, but, for us and the rest of the listeners who truly understand that the show would not exist without the producers, this is very important.
And it's content. People, I don't think the producers get enough credit for actually providing content, whether it be prayer requests or bringing a story with their, time
boots on the ground. We get a lot of boots on the ground reports. We get a lot of things.
It's how we stay connected.
Yeah. Anywho, so there we go. We're going to thank some producers because we're on the value for value model because we have committed to separating ourselves from corporate money, which, as we all know, is simply corporate intent put in quantifiable form. If you're taking corporate money, you are doing something that the corporations approve of, and that's not really a great look, especially when your whole job is to critique and analyze and deconstruct corporate media, not get paid by them or get paid by the people who pay them. So we are the value for value model. If you enjoy the show, put some value back into the show. You can do it with your time, your talent, or your treasure. Right now, we're going to thank some financial producers. Gons, are you ready?
Ready as Mupu.
Okay, we thanked our executive producers, of course, in the first break. We're going to thank a few more, starting with producer Malik W.
Malik W., good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Malik comes in with a nice round number, so we will not disclose the amount. But if you don't mind us disclosing the amount, make it a funny number. Well, that's how we do it. Make it funky. Yeah. No note from Malik. Thank you, Malik.
Thank you, Malik.
Next, we got Sir Moore of Night of the Burning Chariots on a 144 episode streak.
144 jingle, and it came straight from the heart. 144 in a row, bottom
been a while since we heard from Polly, but there you go. He's memorialized in the 144 streak. Yeah.
Sir Morph came in with the 1111. Thank you, Sir Morph.
Thank you, Sir Morph.
Next up, we got Sir JC, Night of the Techno Squatch. Today is his 150th episode in a row.
Best thing on 1001. Amen.
That's right, 1001. He has a note. Happy Monday, guys.
Gary, what day is it? Monday.
Oops, and I navigated away. Here I'm back. Thanks for always keeping it 100, as the kids say. Yes,
Sir
indeed.
JC, I think it's 100. 100.
No,
100.
You're thinking of 100.
Oh, 100. Oh, sorry.
100.
I'm even adding letters to the thing.
Too many letters there, Gons. Thank you very much, Sir JC. Night of the Techno Squatch.
Thank you.
Next up, we got Sir Alex Protocol V2, Night of the Berean Protocol. 80 episodes in a row.
It's a new upgraded jingle for Sir Alex Protocol. Thank you. His streak jingle, anyway. Yeah.
He has a note here. Came in with a pocket full of sevens, and he says, "Gary, WDIS." Which of course stands for what day is it, but the acronym is WDIS.
Gary, what day is it? Monday.
WDIS. 100.
Hey,
Oh my gosh, I can't even say it.
Yeah.
They're just slowly chopping the language down. By the end, we're just going to be grunting at each other. They. The controllers.
Sir Alex says, keep up the great work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sir Alex Protocol V2, Night of the Berean
Protocol.
Protocol, yes, thank you.
Let's see here. We have Sir Casey the Shield Knight on a 210 episode streak.
Oh yeah, streakalicious.
Thank you, Sir Casey.
Comes in with a pocket full of sevens and a note that says Happy Feast of Trumpets.
Yeah.
I believe that starts today.
Today, yep.
As the Canary Cry calendar foretold. This feast day is to remind us and for celebrating the day of the Lord that will be brought in with the blasting of a trumpet. And the passed away believers will be risen up and with the Messiah. This biblical feast day is a reminder of things to come that Yeshua will fulfill in the end times. Indeed.
Hallelujah.
Thank you very much, Sir Casey the Shield Knight. What a wonderful way to celebrate the first day of the Feast of Trumpets.
Thank you, Sir Casey. Appreciate it.
Let's see here. We got Gail M.
Gail M.
Didn't Gail get damed? Why is Dame Gail's not Dame name not on here?
We need to update the list, the round table. Yeah, I think we're behind a couple people.
I am almost 100% positive that Gail M is Dame Gail. I was gonna go back and check. Can you check while we catch up? That would have been weeks ago that happened.
Okay,
yeah.
Let me check.
Here, I'm gonna do a control.
It obviously
F.
didn't trigger you last time.
No, it didn't. It's just occurring to me now.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, so I will do. Let's see. Let's thank her here. She comes in with a pocket full of sevens and a note, which I am now scrolling back to because I got so distracted.
It starts with a prayer, please.
Producers, assemble!
That's right. Prayer, please. Okay, producers, listen up. The producers are people who pray for the show, pray for the producers of the show. Just pray, man. Very important piece of the show, or piece of the production team. Gail continues. It's been so discouraging. It's been so discouraging to apply for Section 8 senior assisted housing when most have 3-year waiting list, and I don't even meet the minimum income requirements. That doesn't make sense. Why would there be a minimum income requirements for senior assistants?
You got to make
Got to make money to make money, apparently. My home is waning. Please,
her hope is waning.
My hope is waning. Please ask Jesus to give strength during this process. I love you all so much. Thank you. XXXXX. Okay, Dame Gail. Thank you for the alert. Producers all around the world. And if you don't know how to become a producer, here's how. You pray. You pray for the people who ask for it on the show, or just even if they don't ask for it. So, Dame Gail, we are putting you on the list. Everybody be praying for Dame Gail to, I don't even know what the process is to make this happen, but whatever the process is, strength and perseverance to make it through the process. Like any government bureaucracy, it takes true, courageous bravery to just survive the process.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll be praying for a nice, affordable, wonderful, life-giving home for you, Dame Gail, and anybody else who will be homing with you. My goodness.
Yep. And she was on is that 175 episode streak right there?
Yep.
Women rule.
Thank you, Gail M. We'll be praying for you.
I am
struggling.
Where is Sir Darren? Yeah, we have some strange people in the chat right now. Sir Darren's right there. I think he's misplaced. I'm sorry. Hold on. No, somebody had a note that I was supposed to read. I apologize. I'm looking for this note. It was a very important note, and it might have to be later on. So that concludes, at least until there's a correction, the list of financial producers who supported the show in 777 or more, which entitles them to have a note read on the show. We've got a few people to thank under that amount, and let's thank that now, starting with Runk Smash on a 28 episode streak.
Thank you, Runk Smash. Ooh, 28, which is one past the firmament buster.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have Sir Darren out of the Hungry Panda, 49 episodes in a row.
Thank you, Sir Darren.
We got Veronica D, 175.
Women rule.
Thank you, Veronica D.
Yeah, we got Sir Scott Knight of Truth on 199.
Close to that 201.
So close. All right. I think that concludes the list. I feel like I'm missing something, but I'm going to keep an eye out for it as we continue on. So I think it's time to wake up, yeah?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's wake up.
Yes, it's wake up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
Are we doing COVID?
Let's do COVID.
Little COVID-o action, you know?
It's Corona time. COVID-19. 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 Yes. COVID-19. COVID-19. Coronavirus. Vaccine. Number one way.
All right. I figured out the note I was supposed to read.
Okay.
And it's an important one.
All right. So let's.
I'm bummed that I have to do what we're doing.
Shit's okay. That's fine.
Okay. This was the note that came with Malik W's producership.
Okay.
Okay. So let's do this again. Let's give him the full credit. We got Malik W.
All right.
Coming in, producing the show. Nice round number. Thank you, Malik. And Malik says, "Hey guys, today is my birthday."
Oh.
Can you believe it?
Happy birthday, Malik.
I can't believe it. Thank you.
That is
much.
important. I was going to say, what important thing?
It gets even more important.
Okay.
It says, "Hey guys, today's my birthday, 26 on the 26th."
Oh.
Which means it's his golden birthday, I believe that's called. 26 on the 26th. Happy birthday, Malik. He says, "Also, I'm in the path of Hurricane Ian."
Oh my gosh.
So prayers, please.
Oh yeah, definitely. Prayers.
Yeah.
Producers, assemble!
I knew there was something important. All right, producers, we're praying for Malik W. He's in the path of Hurricane Ian, and that's not a fun place to be, but it is a good opportunity to have the Lord show off. Keep him safe, keep his family safe, keep his belongings safe, and everything that comes with that, comfort and strength as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I was going to do, since we're all over the place anyway, happy birthday, Malik. But also, this is apropos for today and the Feast of Trumpets.
Nice.
Those are kind of like trumpets. Not exactly.
There we go.
Close enough.
Got it. Okay. All right. There we go. Happy birthday, Malik. So sorry about that. All right. Now let's do COVID.
Okay. Should I do the jingle all over again?
Yeah.
Okay. This is for the Clippies.
It's Corona time. COVID-19. 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 Yes. COVID-19. COVID-19. Coronavirus. Vaccine. Number one way.
We'll do a quick thing here. Yeah, we'll do this quick one and then
little update.
A little update from news.sky.com. And the headline, Pfizer's chief executive tests positive for COVID-19 for second time in 2 months. That's Albert Bourla.
Poor guy.
Bourla? Yeah, it says here, Pfizer's chief executive has tested positive for COVID-19 for the second time in 2 months. Albert Bourla, the head of the company that created one of the most widely used coronavirus vaccines, said he was, quote, feeling well and symptom-free.
Oh.
Mr. Bourla, 60, contacted COVID back in August and had started a course of the company's oral COVID-19 antiviral treatment, Paxlovid. The thing that gives you COVID again.
Well, the Paxlovid rebound doesn't. We don't know if it gives you it, but there is something called the Paxlovid rebound. 2 months later, I don't think that counts as a Paxlovid rebound.
Oh, that's too bad.
I wonder if he's taking. First of all, Bourla, go get your booster, sir.
Mr. Bourla has received 4 doses of the vaccine his company developed alongside its German partner BioNTech.
It's obvious.
But said he missed out on getting the new bivalent booster.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. If he got 4, he needs 5. He needs the bivalent booster, Bourla.
Not 4, not 5, not 6.
Just keep up.
Not 7.
Try to keep up, Mr. Bourla. Okay, feel better. Yeah. Well, apparently you feel fine, but
he's feeling fine. That's what's really interesting about this. He's like, hey, feeling well, symptom-free. Just this little pregnancy test says I have COVID again.
It's kind of like honestly, it is a very effective normalization of repeatedly catching COVID, despite being diligent.
Well, it's how do we
in your being a good boy?
Well, I was going to say, how do we keep the public somewhat yearning for the vaccine? Well, you kind of need the head guy now needs to get it over and over again. He's got all his shots, except the booster, but
it's normalizing getting.
Yeah.
So it's like. Doesn't need to be stigmatized, he missed a booster and he got it. Of course he did. So go ahead and do it, folks.
Is this constitutional, Mr. President? Get vaccinated. This is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Trust me. I know. Get vaccinated. Get a booster right away.
It's good to revisit some of those jingles,
that aged
too.
Well.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's so relevant. What is relevant?
Yeah,
Pelosi.
Here's a quick little update on Pelosi.
Chocolate is good for your teeth. I like it better than anything else. I enjoy it. Chocolatey. Science is the answer. Science, 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 and science.
That crazy Nancy, she is crazy.
He doesn't know what he's talking about once again.
She's lost it.
I don't remember that one. That's fun. FoxNews.com. Hold on to your butts, everybody. FoxNews.com. Nancy Pelosi booed during surprise appearance at New York City Music Festival. Videos appear to show.
Published on 4:33 p.m., huh?
4:33 p.m. Attendees of a music festival in New York City on Saturday night appeared to boo House Speaker Nancy Pelosi after she made a surprise appearance at the event. Pelosi, wearing a white pantsuit with a matching scarf, took to the stage of NYC's Global Citizen Music Festival.
Yeah, this is the one every year where they do the whole Kumbaya One World Government thing.
Yeah, it's the NWO sort of PSYOP event of the year.
Concert, yeah.
Yeah. Where she was booed by those in the audience. Videos on social media appear to show. I like that one layer removal that they're allowing themselves. The videos appear to show this, okay? We're not making any claims. After being introduced to the stage by Priyanka Chopra Jonas, an actress who is married to Nick Jonas, thank you for clarifying, Fox News, Pelosi briefly spoke about carbon pollution and climate change. Quote, as Speaker of the House, I'm here to thank you for your dazzling advocacy, entrepreneurial thinking, and determination as global citizens, she told the crowd, according to the New York Post. Why don't we play the video?
Okay, I'm not really ready.
Or do we not have it?
No, I think I got to go to the actual original article here.
Oh, okay. Why don't you do that? Yeah, sorry, I thought you had it. I thought you had it all set up.
Sometimes I don't like to.
The California representative can also be heard calling for better water and air for our children and better paying jobs and low energy bills for their parents. The crowd continued to react loudly to her comments. Pelosi can also be heard mentioning that her grandsons, Paul and Thomas, were in the audience. Ooh, that's a tough one. Getting booed in front of your grandchildren is not a great feeling.
I'm not seeing the link to the. Wasn't it a tweet or something that was in there? Did they take it out?
No. Yeah, it was a link from Jack Pacific.
I know that I saw it earlier. I'm not seeing it now, which is weird. Maybe they got rid of it.
I don't know what to tell you. No, I'm looking at it right now. It doesn't look to be loading for you. It's underneath that first image of her and the Priyanka woman.
Oh, there it is. There it is. All right, here we go. I just muted it, so hold on. There's multiple things playing here. Let's see. I'll play it again. Hold on.
I couldn't talk about it.
The Speaker of the House.
Nancy Pelosi.
Okay, well, all right.
So it's interesting. No,
it appears
I don't know why you're not enjoying it. I think it's a really, actually uplifting video, Gons. Because you got to remember, this is not her dropping into a, country music festival in Wichita or something. Mm-hmm. This is New York City Global Citizen Festival. Mm-hmm. It is explicitly a psychological operation event to make people feel like they're global citizens. They're the future of what it looks like to be a person in the world, and you care about all the right things, and you listen to the right podcasts, and you watch the right pop musicians, and you go to the right events, and this is a very special thing. New York City Global Citizen Festival. She gets up there, starts talking about climate change and water treatment and things like this, and is just met with boos across the board. I mean, you could hear a couple people trying to break through with some cheers there, but it was not going that well.
You know what I think this is? I know you think it's sort of a turning of the tides of the public sentiment over, the liberal leaders of America in politics or something. But
I wouldn't even broaden it that much. I think it's people specifically knowing that her husband can injure somebody in a DUI. She's constantly, insider committing financial crimes openly.
Yeah, so this is New York. So I'm guessing, these are really angry Wall Street Joes and Janes that are like, hey, we can't
these
get
are
into
kids,
the...
first of all, but okay.
They're kids, maybe. I don't know. Not being able to get into the Nancy bond or something to make sure that they make money off of all of Nancy. Or they're booing because didn't Paul Pelosi sell something when it was really low recently to kind of
so he bought $5 million worth of NVIDIA stock.
Right, NVIDIA, that's what it was. The all-seeing-eye logo.
Before the CHIPS Act passed.
Right.
And then he sold all of his stock before the vote went through at a loss.
At a loss, yeah.
And
so
when
maybe that's why they're booing. They're like, hey, we believed in you, Nancy. We were following your moves, and then now you pull the rug out from under us? Boo!
When asked about the loss, she literally said, yeah, we took the loss so there wouldn't be any misinformation about my insider trading.
Is that a direct quote?
Yeah, well...
So she's literally just saying...
she
so
literally said it was to dispel rumors of insider trading. So we sold at a loss beforehand.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's like paying for their continued, free ride through market manipulation.
It's basically an admission of guilt.
It's an admission of guilt. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So they're paying for their being caught or being so public about this.
So what I think these boos are reflecting is, this is the global citizens, et cetera, et cetera. It's supposed to be for, New World Order, citizens of the planet types, save the climate types, these types of people. And I think her hypocrisy is just so blatant at this point, and that she's really only concerned about Nancy Pelosi, barely concerned about Paul Pelosi. And even the most diehard sort of Democrat liberals or radical liberals are they're just not buying it anymore. Yeah. I think it's part of the broader changing of the guard that we've been kind of tracking after a while. But Mariah Carey, Metallica, the Jonas Brothers, and Usher performed at the festival. And President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, also spoke.
Oh, Ursula was there too. Wow.
Yes, the whole New World Order gang.
I don't think they booed for Ursula. They're probably like, who is this lady?
I would be curious. Yeah, who's Ursula?
Who's Ursula?
And they're not really paying that much attention. No. Okay, so there you go. That's Nancy getting booed. Just a fun time.
Okay, good stuff. Yay, Nancy getting booed.
You don't know what you're looking at.
What's driving that thing? It's not a space alien.
Alien. It's unidentified.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
We don't. HuffPost.com. That's Huffington Post. Sharp-eyed viewers. So are we considered sharp-eyed viewers, maybe? Sharp-eyed viewers notice stunning apparent addition to key intelligence logo. What are they talking about? A federal intelligence office charged with matters related to aviation appears to have a new logo, and it suggests the organization is tracking more than just known aircraft. Have they not been paying attention to all the things that the government has been admitting and forming? Like councils?
They obviously have not.
No. The logo of the National Intelligence Manager of Aviation shows a series of aircraft as well as a UFO. So for those of you just listening, we're going to go to the website here, airdomainintelligence.mil. And yes, you see the logo at the top. It's a circular logo. It says Office of the Director of National Intelligence, NIM-Aviation. It's got a couple stars around the edge. And in the middle, there's sort of an America-ish, kind of, I don't know, faded a little bit. And then there's four aircraft
North America and the north of South America.
Sure, and Canada. And and there's four aircraft streaking as if they are leaving a big chemtrail behind them. You got an airplane, a jet fighter. I don't know what that is. Is that
I think it's a drone.
A drone? Yeah. And then like another secret fighter thing. And then off to the left, not part of the four streaking jet vehicles, is a UFO. Just your classic flying saucer.
Flying saucer on the logo.
Yeah.
Which makes total sense. You don't even have to... I don't read this as like, oh my gosh, conspiracy theory, UFOs on the logo. I mean, like you said, have they been paying attention of the congressional hearings, the reports? I mean, our military, our intelligence apparatus, and our congressional, groups are straight up admitting that UAPs exist. We're going to start tracking them. I can't believe we haven't been doing this. We're doing this now. We are funding research. We're funding surveillance. We're funding all sorts of stuff because UFOs are real, and we're now going to be paying attention to them.
Yeah,
they've created offices. They've created new branches of bureaucracy just for this fact. And so, if they do a logo redesign, this organization's whole job is to manage the data from all flight activity. And they're going to put a UFO on the logo. The most surprising thing about this HuffPost article is their skepticism. The way that they talk about it, it's like ridiculous.
Ariana Huffington all she needs to do is listen to some Joe Rogan podcast, the most popular podcast in the world, and she'll get a clue.
Not even that. I mean, there was
I'm saying in pop culture.
There were nightly news reports on Fox and CNN about how Congress was talking about UFOs are real. I mean, you don't even have to go to Rogan. You just have to, I don't know, be a human in America.
Yeah, well, they're not paying attention because they say sentences like this. It's not clear when the logo was created or updated, but the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine shows a different logo as recently as June. So HuffPo knows how to use the Wayback Machine. It's also not clear if the logo is the work of hackers or pranksters. Really?
What? Why even sow these little seeds of doubt at all? It doesn't make any sense. They just cannot believe
the people
that our government actually is taking UFOs seriously. They are asleep at the wheel at HuffPost.
The people reading and believing and following along HuffPo, hook, line, sinker, they're the alien food. So you can't let them in on all the stuff. They're the harvest.
They're the ones being ranched.
Yeah. A video on the agency's website explaining its role and function does not mention flying saucers or any other form of UFO, but rather points out its role in air intelligence. Let me read that again. A video on the agency's website explaining its role and function does not mention flying saucers or any other form of UFO, but rather points out its role in air intelligence. Are they saying the role of the agency or the role of the UFOs?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think they're saying the role of the agency. It does sound like they mentioned the role of the UFOs, though. But
okay, well, you're gonna be triggered more. The new logo comes as the U.S. military and other government agencies have been forced to acknowledge that they've detected objects they cannot explain, at least not publicly. So they know. They know that that's a thing. But also, just to cover their bases, it might have been hacked. So there you go.
Yeah,
and it goes into all the history.
Yeah, they're like, it was probably a hack or a prank, but also, yes, we know the government's admitted to UAPs. They even go into the
the whole thing. Yeah, they go into the whole, not the whole, but just, some examples of some of the breakthroughs of information in the last few years. So anyway,
it's really just baffling. Funny. Unlike an analysis or deconstruction point of view, it's like they don't. It's like they're operating within a tinfoil hat stigma, even though it's been admitted by the government, it's on record, it's been on cable news, it's everywhere. It shows the stigma of tinfoil hattery, and you can kind of compare this to other things. If you pick out any other tinfoil hattery, for instance, I don't know, just like... Well, it's becoming clear that EcoHealth Alliance has some strange connections and, connections to historical events that have happened over the past 2 years. That's now being publicly admitted, written up in actual newspapers. The whole thing that has been so tinfoil hatty that nobody could even mention it, and now it's starting to come out. And similarly to UFOs, they have to kind of be like, yeah, okay, but I don't know. It could be pranks. It could be fake. It could be blah, 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 blah. It reveals them to be more of a social engineering operation than an actual news outlet. I guess that's what they're telling you how to feel and not really telling you to listen to the facts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm calling an audible. I'm going to move this Hive Mind story to Wednesday. Because we're just real short on time.
Are we really that far behind?
We
okay.
are, yeah, we are.
Wow.
It's good, though, so we'll talk about it next episode. There was just to tease it a little bit, there was a Big Think article with the headline, "We are building a species-level brain with big data and ubiquitous sensors." So we'll dig into that Wednesday.
Okay.
But for now, let's just... we'll do some Speakpipe, and then we'll thank some of our producers who came in with their talent.
Please leave a message after the tone.
At the tone, please record your message.
Leave a message. Beep.
Message!
Go to canarycrynewstalk.com, look for a green tab, and then click it. You'll leave a message, or it'll prompt a thing so you can leave a voice message. And what was it? You had the exact legal verbiage.
Yeah, you're giving us permission to play your message, but it's not guaranteed.
There you go. All right. So let's go with Jeff W. here with the message.
Greetings, Gazel and Bonds. This is Sir Make Way for the Lion.
Oh, Sir Make Way for the Lion.
I've come today to adjust my name so that it fits the format of every other knight and dame. I notice now that they all have actual human-like names, whereas mine is an action statement. So, Sir Make Way for the Lion is henceforth known as Sir Waymaker, Knight of the Imminent Lion.
Ooh.
Keep it up, ya goofballs.
Another update.
Fun.
We really need to just go through that and update everything.
We'll have to do a renaming ceremony. We should put that on the notes for next episode. I don't think we've done a renaming, have we?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yes, we shall do that for you.
All right. Thank you for the message. We also have one from Rochelle.
This is Amazing Grace. We're talking about amazing grace. Jesus gave us just a taste. We're hearing that sweet, sweet sound. Got me walking 10 feet off the ground as I'm sitting under your fig tree. You're saving a wretch like me. Had to get lost in the crowd. Because of Jesus, I am found. I was blind when it was all about me. Through the true light, now I see. When we've been here 10,000 years, He erased all my tears. Bright shining as the sun. Eternal battles already won. Infinite days to sing God's praises. As time runs through her phases, we get closer to the Holy One. From when we first begun.
Thank you, Rochelle. Beautiful as always. Appreciate it. All right, so let's go right into thanking some producers for their talent.
Break.
This is break. Don't just consume the content, but become the content. Become the content. We're going to thank our producers who come in with their talent. Help us build the culture behind the community here at Canary Cry News Talk. All we ask is that you do something for the show. We're going to start off with some audio producers.
Okay, hold on. I'm back. Sorry, I had to let a cat out, but I was listening.
We kick it off with Jonathan F.
Jonathan F.
He actually gave us 2 pieces over the weekend. And the first one is, censorship. Yeah. Sorry, I've been on a hiatus, guys. Life happens. Anyway, here's a jingle you might need in the future or even more presently than that. Anyway, enjoy. Hold on. I thought I had this ready and I don't. Where is it? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we'll get to that in a second. He did have a second one. It was Romans 3:10 through 24. I'll play that one first.
None is righteous. No, not one. No one understands. No one seeks for God. All have turned aside. Together they have become worthless. No one does good, not even one. Their throat is an open grave. They use their tongues to deceive. The venom of asps is under their lips. Their mouth is full of curses and bitterness. Their feet are swift to shed blood. In their paths are ruin and misery, and the way of peace they have not known. There is no fear of God before their eyes. Now we know that whatever the law says, it speaks to those who are under the law, so that every mouth may be stopped, and the whole world may be held accountable to God. For by works of the law, no human being will be justified in his sight, since through the law comes knowledge of sin, the righteousness of God through faith in Jesus Christ, for all who believe. For there is no distinction, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God, and are justified by his grace as a gift through the redemption that is in Christ Jesus.
I gotta say, I don't know any other place where you get scripture in that, delivered in that format. So great job, Jonathan F.
Very cool.
This
Thank
is
you,
the
John.
censorship jingle that we may be using more often here.
Censorship interrupted on the First Amendment. Censorship interrupted on the First Amendment.
Fun.
I like it. Thank you very much, Jonathan F. We move on to Caleb. Does producer Caleb have a jingle for his introduction? I don't think he does.
Not as of this exact moment.
Yeah. Well, he gave us a couple here. Love the art. This is a note from him. Loved the art from last show and wanted to create a couple jingles. Hope you guys hope you guys and these 2 producers enjoy. So he made a jingle to introduce Mark A.
A brand spanking new art from Mark A.
That's fun.
And in the same style,
a brand spanking new art from Mark A.
And in the same style and feel, another one for Darren S. Sir Darren S.
It's your boy Darren. He got
the art and the
gifts. Darren.
Your boy Darren. He's got the art and the gifts. Darren S. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Caleb.
Yeah, those are great contributions. Appreciate it. We also got audio from James M. He had a note here. Hey guys, I hope you enjoy the song. I didn't have my good headphones to mix, so sorry if it's a little high in some places. Love you guys, James M. Also, maybe the producers can keep me in mind. Most slept on supporters of the show right there. So there you go. Yes, yeah, absolutely. Prayers for James M. Let me call upon the producers. And this track is about 1 minute and 13 seconds long. I'm going to go ahead and play the whole thing. We'll play it again at the end of the show, but, because it's only 1 minute and it's great. Great job, James M. Here it is. Fly Away.
When the news of the day gets to feeling like a maze, it's okay, don't be afraid if you don't know what to say. Canary, cry away. When your brain's in a haze and a headline days, come on, I head my way, I can help you out the cage. Canary, cry away. Canary, cry away. Oh, canary, cry away. Oh, the world's changing every day, each each and every way you turn, there's another thing to learn. Reading in between the lines, thanking Jesus for our lives, and nice to see His glory shining like the sun. Run the race until it's done. Come on, everyone. Canary, cry ways. Oh, canary, cry ways. When your brain's in a haze and the headline days, come on, I had my way. I can help you out the cage. Canary, cry away.
Yeah, bro.
Awesome is that?
That was so sick.
So awesome.
Yes, the name of that is Canary Cry Awaits, by the way. But yeah, it's just, in the motif of I'll Fly Away. That was so sick. This is the guy who just like last episode said he was waiting for some inspiration. Pretty inspirational to me there, dude.
Yeah,
I love
agreed. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much, James M.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll play that at the Canary Cry mixtape for sure. And yeah, nailed it again. He's 2 for 2 on complete bangers, man.
Yep, 100%. All right, let's do some art.
One art, please.
And we'll kick it off with Dame Allie of the Skillet Nation.
One art, please. Another one from Allie now. Here it is.
Oh, I got scary chills looking at this one. It comes with an Ebony Blaze haiku. Miss Mussolini, a Dame Ebony Blaze haiku. Congrats, Italy's first female prime minister, Giorgia Meloni, who joins the neo-fascist social movement at the age of 15. I guess joined the neo-fascist movement, social movement at age 15. Their sympathy for Benito Mussolini is main news focus.
That's right. And we've got this is regarding the new Italian prime minister who is pretty politically right. So she's getting a lot of pushback for that. But also Italy's first female prime minister.
I know. I don't think that's how the lefties wanted it. The first female prime minister should not be a Mussoliniist.
Well, I believe Mussolini, he may have been fascist, but I think he was a socialist as well. If I remember, I could be wrong on that.
Well, she joined the neo-fascist social movement, so, you know.
Hey, there you go. And here we go. We got, what's her name?
Benito Mussolini.
Giorgia Meloni is her name.
Yeah.
Giorgia Meloni. She's got a very stern-looking sort of reptilian look on her face, and of course, she's got her lizard eyeballs. You don't become the first, female prime minister of Italy without having a little bit of reptile in you. And she's making this very pursing her lips like she's ready to strike with a forked tongue. And I don't know, something Mussolini did, I guess. Thank you very much, Dame Allie and Dame Ebony Blaze.
Yeah, thank you very much. I don't know why, but this image kind of creeped me out when I first opened it. I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Allie does that a lot.
There are scary lizard eyeballs on a very stern-looking woman who kind of seems like she wants to hurt something.
I think
hurt me.
I think it's the lines in her lips. How she has it like all.
Yeah, she's trying to hide her lizard tongue. She looks like a young person. Who is this person? I gotta look into this.
She looks like a young person.
Let's keep moving.
Good comment. Looks like a young person. All right, we're gonna move on to Sir Dove, Knight of Rusbeltia.
One art piece from Dove.
And Dove's note, piece for this week's Bible artwork. I made an illustration of Psalm 98:4 for Yom Torah. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all the earth. Make a loud noise and rejoice and sing praise. Hope you guys like it. Keep doing what you do, and I'll keep praying for yins. P.S. I want to thank everyone for all the prayers and support. My pops had a successful surgery, and with everything they had to do, it really is nothing short of miraculous that he's still here. Yeah, amen.
That's wonderful. And this is a great piece of art here. It's a mixed medium again. We've got a photograph. The background is kind of like if a fancy, maybe theater, like performance
high school
venue.
Theater, yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Excuse me?
I was thinking like a high school theater type of feel. There's, maybe 60,
I was thinking
seats.
more like some sort of old venue, but has not gotten any maintenance for about 100 years and is abandoned and dilapidated and falling apart. And there's two. It's from the perspective of on stage, looking out at the chairs, and there's two dilapidated, destroyed pianos and dirt and debris everywhere. Yeah, it says, pianos. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord. And there's this cute little cat, sort of humanoid cat, playing one of the pianos, having a good time, even in the midst of destruction.
Yeah. So there you go. That's it. That's it for the art. We do have. Thank you, Dame. Not Dame. Sir Dove. Sorry, Sir Dove. Knight of Respeltia. Another great one here. And we have a microfiction, I believe. Do we have a microfiction? Is that the one? Okay. Here we go.
Microfiction.
Microfiction. And of course, it is from Runk Smash.
Stacy pulls Derwin off of the two buffoons and notices he's extremely hot. The ink circuits that drive him char through his paper skin. Before he passes, he utters in a deep voice, "Another has been printed." Then, in a flash, he is naught but dust and ash.
So Derwin is some kind of 3D printed clone.
He's an origami cyborg.
Makes perfect sense.
This is a whole nother category of threat that we have not explored.
Yeah.
Sentient origami cyborgs.
Yeah,
Thank you, Runk Smash, for opening up our eyes to this. And made out of flash paper, apparently, as well. It goes up in smoke immediately.
Yeah, it's got a real deep voice, too, though. I don't know how that comes together. But there you go. Thank you very much to all the producers. Basil, I want to maybe play this jingle as sort of the end of the producer segment, or this producer segment, more frequently here.
I do want to.
Oh, go ahead.
Or just real quick, I just want to make sure everybody knows, if you're a creative person, you are an artist or a musician or an author or whatever you do, you can create something for the show, send it on in to canarycryradio@gmail.com, and we'll put it on the show.
Canary cry till I die. Never try to tell about spies. Supply faith through Wi-Fi. Specify why they misapply telecast. News talk on podcast. Met with bird's eye view of the truth. Make sure that you produce for those you slew. And do it if you don't leave reviews. Produce all the time. It's not a crime. Guns, let's hear that chime. Basil, it's showtime. Throw that punchline. Here comes the headline. Produce all the time. It's not a crime. Guns, let's hear that chime. Basil, it's showtime. Throw that punchline. Here comes the headline.
I forgot about this one.
Yeah, it's good.
This is good. You're doing a great job playing more of the things we've had laying around. So we got to make sure we get more of these things in the show. All right, there you go. What do you got to take us out with, Guns?
It's cold, Basil.
Yes.
I got something to take us out with. Let's go.
It's cold, Basil. It's cold. Antarctica, go first.
It's a snowstorm. Antarctica.
Ice scientists are penguins.
Antarctica, they're opening the abyss.
All right, it's time for another brick in the wall, Guns. The end of the show, Antarctica theories. You know, a lot of times we're having fun. A lot of times we go a little wild. And not saying we're not going to do that, but there's a very specific setup happening right now, and I'd like to share it with you. Okay. We'll start with this interesting engineering article.
Okay.
It's from Interesting Engineering, which we think is always funny because they have so many stories that have nothing to do with engineering. But big news, big news. The headline reads, "We did it. Harmful chemicals in the ozone layer drop by 50%.
Hey,
NOAA
we
says.
did. What did we do?
We dropped harmful chemicals in the ozone layer, apparently. Now, if anybody remembers, a couple years ago, they actually came out and said, like, yeah, we healed the ozone layer a while back, but apparently we're doing it again. The depletion of the ozone layer had a huge impact on humanity for a while. Moreover, the United Nations accepted the International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer in 1994. Every living thing on Earth is shielded from UV radiation by the stratospheric ozone layer. Thus, the ozone layer is vital for all forms of life, and we need to protect it. Without a doubt. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, that's NOAA, their last report indicates that we're on the right track. As they stated, in the mid-latitude stratosphere, NOAA discovered that global concentrations of the dangerous compounds that destroy the ozone layer have decreased by slightly over 50% to levels seen in the 1980s.
Hey, it's the 80s all over again.
Yeah, we're back in the 80s, baby. The ongoing deterioration, quote, shows the threat to the ozone layer slipping below a crucial milestone in 2022. The area of the ozone hole over the Antarctic is larger than the area of the United States, and it would take tens of millions of tons of ozone to replenish it. Even the cost of shipping this amount of ozone would be astronomical. And this is kind of one of the things, you know, the ozone layer, we all have heard it, and we've all heard like a lot, but ozone is funny because we can actually make it, we can manufacture it, and like, fix it, but it's just very expensive.
You mean geoengineering exists and is real? I thought that's all conspiracy nonsense.
Can you even imagine?
Yeah.
Quote, this slow but steady progress over the past 3 decades was achieved by international compliance.
Oh, compliance is what did it. Okay.
With controls on production and trade of ozone-depleting substances in the Montreal Protocol and substances that deplete the ozone layer, explained NOAA. Ozone-depleting substances, ODSs, over Antarctica, which sees a significant ozone hole in the spring, have been declining at a slower rate recently. And they kind of mention this, but they don't really explain it. They said, which sees a significant ozone hole in the spring. Because the ozone and the hole in the ozone and the ozone layer is not a static object. It moves, it grows, it shrinks, it happens all the time.
Kind of sounds like Biden's cycle. Biden's inflation has plateaued kind of logic there, you know? It's like, oh, it's not getting any worse. So we're steady.
Sure, it could be. Well, you know, it's more like, you know, in the summer, we experience global warming because it's the summer.
Well, it depends on
the
where you
ozone
are.
is very similar. The ozone changes shape and size all the time. But that's not the point. Quote, it's great to see this progress, said Stephen Monska, senior scientist for NOAA's Global Monitoring Laboratory. Quote, at the same time, it's a bit humbling. I'm choking up, Gons. It's humbling to realize that science is still a long way from being able to claim that the issue of ozone depletion is behind us.
Science is truth.
Then it goes into some history. How did it start?
How did it start?
How did it start? How did
in a boardroom
the ozone
with bankers.
layer start?
Yeah.
It tells you. Ozone is a highly reactive molecule. About 90% of Earth's ozone resides in the stratosphere. So ozone is like an actual chemical. Let's see here. Did you have anything highlighted in here?
No, because it was from last episode. It wasn't the main thing you wanted to talk about. The next article was
Gonzo,
the main
stop.
thing, man.
You don't have to be snarky, okay? I was just giving you a second to talk if you wanted to talk.
No, I have nothing to say about this.
It's a
other than
long but promising road. The ozone layer over the Antarctic has not recovered as quickly as it has over the mid-latitudes, dropping by 26% from peak levels in the 1990s for various reasons. For various reasons, Gons.
Like
but mostly because the air in the Antarctic stratosphere is older.
Oh.
The air is older.
It's more mature.
Did you miss this detail? That science has taught us the air is older in the Antarctic stratosphere.
Because it's frozen?
No, it's old.
Oh, yeah.
We have new air.
We need to kill off all that old
fresh air.
Yeah.
It's a baby air.
Yeah, the air sucking up all that the pension funds. Gotta get rid of them.
Old, stinky, wrinkly air.
Just give them a little COVID.
The Antarctic 2022 index has decreased 26%. Blah blah blah
blah blah.
Yeah. So there you go. We're doing it, baby. Mission accomplished. The ozone is healing because of compliance. Comply. And this brings us to this article from RealWire.com. This is, we've brought RealWire.com before. It's kind of a weird sort of press release / native advertising outlet for obscure technology companies. And here's one now. Polar proof of NEXAT's globality at Ukrainian Antarctic base.
Oh, Ukrainian on this. There's all kinds of different angles to this now. It's all different.
Polar proof of NEXAT's globality. Have you ever heard globality before?
Yeah, dude. We're going
global. It's a new word, baby.
We're going global.
It's like locality, but globality. Globality. Scientists monitoring the ozone hole.
That we just fixed, right? We were just told it was fixed.
50%. We're monitoring.
Okay, we're doing
we got
good.
the ozone, we got the hole, and we got the scientists monitoring the ozone hole.
Okay, good.
And water ecosystem from a Ukrainian research base in Antarctica will have better access to connectivity options thanks to a cloud-based services platform.
Oh, good. More software.
Oh, boring. Yeah. The National Antarctic Scientific Center has connected to
NANC. NANC. That's the same acronym as the bond that's tracking Nancy Pelosi's portfolio.
That's a good point. Yes. I don't know if that was adequately explained before. There is it's like a Nancy Pelosi index fund kind of called NANC, Nancy. And now apparently Nancy is the name of the Ukrainian Research Center, has connected to NEXAT, a capacity aggregator, and PaaS, that's platform as a service, to monitor these signal levels, real-time traffic, service outages, and network issues of its satellite connectivity. What does that mean? Does anybody care? NEXAT
is it spying on Starlink? Is that what it means?
NEXAT is enabling the Nancy, which is based at Vermansk Research Station, located on Galindez Island in the Argentine islands, to do this without the need to install physical teleport. And it goes on and on and on. But there is this part here. It says the organization, part of the Ukrainian government's Ministry of Education and Science, will also have the ability to pay. Ukrainians are going to have the ability to pay for added capacity via direct ticketing and access added value services. Notice how none of these words mean anything if you don't know what NEXAT is. And that's why we're here, to bring you the lowdown, because RealWire is not doing a very good job. So what NEXAT is a satellite internet aggregator service. So you have companies like Starlink and SatLink and
OneWeb and stuff.
OneWeb. And, there's a number of these satellite internet companies. And it's a bit problematic because which one do you go with? Who's got the most satellites? Who's in your area? How many satellite dishes do you need?
I was going to say, what if the Starlink isn't over? What if it's in a different spot and so you get spotty internet? Yeah.
So NEXAT is a company that aggregates all satellite services. So you can Yeah, so you can pay for one service, that's NextSat, and then you get access to everybody's satellite. So whoever's near you, whatever gives you the best signal, you have access to it. It's kind of like
it's a bundler.
It's a bundler, right. It's kind of like what Apple TV tried to do.
Yeah.
Before they started making their own content, they're like, are you tired of having too many streaming services? Well, get another one, Apple TV, and we can like play it from your other accounts. It's just a weird, bad product. And that's what NextSat does. You know, it's supposed to make it easier to access satellite internet. I want to point out the ozone hole is not mentioned ever again in this 50-paragraph sales pitch for NextSat. They literally just open up the first sentence. Scientists monitoring the ozone hole are getting better internet. Isn't that wonderful? And it occurred to me, because we've already heard the ozone's been healing, the ozone was healed completely at one point a few years ago. I don't know what happened. Apparently it got unhealed, but look, I'm just going off of current info. We're 50% there. We're monitoring it. And much like a lot of the information about or sourced from or pointed at Antarctica, it is almost entirely being used as marketing material. The ozone layer issue is not talked about in climate change stuff. It's not talked about from the presidential pulpit. It's not talked about at all. It's kind of an old school thing. It comes from the time of global cooling. When global cooling was the problem, we had the ozone layer. Now it's cured. It's getting better. It's whatever. And it's brought up strictly as a marketing tool, a marketing topic to sell satellite internet aggregators, Gons. And this fits in perfectly with our broad overarching tracking of the Antarctica theory, which is Antarctica is not even really a place anymore. It is a product. Antarctica is a product, and everything about Antarctica is a product. And like products, there's the possibility for false advertising, like we've seen with the claims of climate change and melting glaciers. And it was finally, for once, pointed out on the Wall Street Journal and not on a crazy podcast that nobody listens to. And the ozone hole is now on the list. I think we're going to start seeing more about the ozone hole. You see almost nothing about it ever until an article comes out last week, and suddenly it starts coming up as a marketing tool for satellite internet. What is your thoughts on this?
I was just kind of poking around to see if NextSat and doing a little bit of digging. There is another, I think this is a different company called NextSat System Tracker. It's the same NextSat, and they're doing autonomous all-in-one machine that can be used for tillage, planting, spraying, and harvesting on the farm. So it's kind of like a Flippy.
Or like a tractor?
A tractor that does it all the farming. So there's like the food side of it. I don't see anything on the nextsat.b website about it, so it might be different. But I did find this on the actual NextSat website, and it's a case study. And it says, establishing remote connection for mining facilities in West Africa. We enabled effective communication between remote West African mining facilities and their corporate offices. Which is like, great. Isn't there a lot of corruption in mining in West Africa?
Yeah, also in Ukraine. They seem to
just,
only be getting business in corrupt governments
kind of what
and
I was
industries.
thinking. And the marketing is remarkable. The website is fantastic.
And NextSat's interesting because they're an aggregator service. They brag about how they're connecting all the satellites and they're monitoring all the connections. And I don't know exactly the list of companies that they are aggregating, but it's kind of like it's a Skynet of Skynets.
Right.
they actually describe themselves as a network of networks, which is, if anybody is a blockchain person, there's a couple of those. Yeah.
They're also doing oil and gas mining, which I think is interesting given the situation worldwide with the changing of the supply chain and how energy is consumed and
it's kind
dispersed.
of like, it's where Elon makes these deals to bring Skynet to like popular places. He does it very, very Elon Musky. Like, I'll pop in, give internet to Ukraine. Boom. It's very, this is a great marketing move. Yeah, okay, I'll bring Skynet to Antarctica because everybody cares about Antarctica now. Yeah, he gets the move. So while Elon's off making like these highly popular choices in kind of the like giving the vibe that he's like a good guy trying to save the world with his internet, sounds like Nexat is like the evil like stepbrother or the evil twin going around and providing internet to like the evil villains of the world.
I mean, you got to have government approval for this kind of stuff at some level and the infrastructure to do it. On their network page, it says, "We're on a mission to bring satellite connectivity to everyone. We help businesses operate in the most remote regions of the world, powered by our global network." Like, okay, a lot of people have global networks, but it sounds like they're talking about hardware as well as some kind of software.
Yeah, they do. They have their own hardware that you get.
Their pop.
You know
thing.
what?
Yeah.
If they could actually get me some internet out at Burning Man, I might actually consider going with this company.
That's how they get you. They take something away, and then they try to play God, give and take away,
So this whole story, I just, it might not be as extravagant as like a Nephilim penguin story or something, but it proves the point that Antarctica is not necessarily a place that anybody wants to care about or does care about. It is a product that can be used to market other products. And we've seen that over and over and over, even at the protest of the scientists who are down there trying to set the record straight.
It is interesting how ever since that article about the scientists who complained, like, hey, stop saying, the Wall Street Journal article saying like, hey, it's not as you're taking things out of context. Then they flip 180. They're like, hey, we're making progress. We've solved the ozone layer issue. And then now we can Starlink's there. Now we can roll out our Skynet system, and everyone can get internet and communicate through us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and Ukraine. You got to be pro Ukraine, or you don't get to use it.
Well, and Ukraine's exactly the same. Sorry, I did mean to mention that was part of our conversation. You know, in the same way that supporting Ukraine has become a product, a marketing product.
Yeah.
Antarctica is a marketing product. The ozone hole is a marketing product. War is a marketing product. And that's what we're seeing with this Nexat thing. But I don't know. They don't have any, they don't have a very cool Twitter presence. So good luck.
Well, I'm waiting for the Nephilim penguins to crawl out of their caves from Deception Island down there in Antarctica.
Yeah. And they come in contact with the Evercube and gain some sort of cybernetic superintelligence.
Yeah, and Nexat will be there to document it all. Their logo, or the way they spell it, is interesting because it's lowercase n, lowercase e, capital X, lowercase a, lowercase t. So it's kind of like the X thing that we've been talking about with the Mark of the Beast for years. They always have to highlight the X. Mm-hmm. We are X. We are here to mark you. So anyway.
Very, very powerful.
There you go.
All right. There you go, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Thank you to our executive producers, without whom it would be difficult to exist. And that is executive producer Rab, executive producer EP538, executive producer Felicia D. Thank you to the rest of our financial producers. But remember, you can produce the show. If you get value, you can produce the show with your time, your talent, or your treasure. Lots of ways to do that. You can head on over to canarycryradio.com/support.
canarycryradio.com/support.
And then head on over to the Canary Cry Clips channel on YouTube and Odyssey and drop a little note. Make a comment on one of the videos and make sure to thank Emsworth and Faye Liverin for making that happen.
Flippy on those videos. Thanks.
Yeah, and that is the Faye Liverin from the meetup.
Yeah.
Of course, thank you very much to some of our other time producers, and that is our time stumpers.
Timestamp, it's hard work. Timestamp.
And who, Gons, did the timestamps for last episode?
I forgot to update the doc on that. Sorry about that. I believe it was Jade Bouncerson. Nope. That was this episode. It was Jackie Yu. Jackie Yu was the one. Thank you, Jackie Yu.
Thank you very much, Jackie Yu.
Appreciate that.
Okay, and yes, the timestamps are very important to so much of our back-end processes. It's not a thankless job because we do thank them. But if we did not thank them, they are so good at their job that nobody even notices that the timestamps are so essential. Thank you to our social media gal, Dame.
Social media.
Sorry.
Go for it. Let it roll. Let it roll, baby.
Thanks so much.
Social media.
That's right. Dame Miss G of the OV and the Deep Rivers, making sure that our art gets up on the social media. And before I forget, make sure to head up and check the meetups, CanaryCryMeetups.com.
Canary Cry Meetups.
You know it. You love it. CanaryCryMeetups.com. The next one's in Arkansas, September 28th through 30th. And then I'll start pitching. Let's see here. We have 2 in Arkansas coming up. We got the Mountain View, Arkansas, September 28th and 30th, or through 30th. And we got the Rogers, Arkansas at the Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue Music Festival. That's another 3-dayer. These Arkansonians love these multi-day meetups. You can get in contact with the hosts over there at CanaryCryMeetups.com. And next month, we've got a few. We've got the Russ Beltia meetup, the Feast of Tabernacles campout in Pennsylvania. It's going to be a good time. But if you don't hear about one near you, put one on yourself. It's easy. Just pick a time, pick a place, let us know, and we'll let the world know, and you can make all sorts of friends. That's a good way to do it. All right. We'll see you at the meetup.
This is fun.
Yippee! Ratings and reviews, folks. We're going for it. We're shooting for 33 new ratings and reviews by Friday, and we can't do it without you. We need you. Okay? Do you understand me? Do I need to repeat myself? Because it's one of these things nowadays. The algorithms rule our lives. They decide the success or the failure of shows like ours. Now, look, folks, we're not going to die if we don't get reviews. Actually, I can't say that for sure. I don't know exactly how it works.
And you might have some kind of physical
I might have, some sort of medical crisis if we don't get more ratings and reviews. It's not a threat. It's just,
reality.
Life is a mystery. I might blow a fuse or something. So Apple Podcasts, look. The gigantic majority of the listeners of this show listen to it on Apple Podcasts. And the gigantic majority of those people on Apple Podcasts are not leaving ratings and reviews, which is truly shameful. But more than shameful, it's hurtful. It's hurting me. It's hurting my heart. And it's hurting my body. And so we're trying to get as many ratings and reviews as possible. It takes 2 minutes. Just do it. Come on. Just do it.
Yeah, stop hurting Basil physically.
You're physically killing me. You can, and only you can save me the pain by leaving ratings and reviews. And look, if you've already left a rating and a review, go take your friends' phones and leave ratings and reviews on their phones. We used to not necessarily encourage that strategy, but desperate times. So thank you very much. We're shooting for 33 new ratings and reviews. And if that actually happens, something big will happen. I promise you that. I don't know exactly what it is, but it'll be big, and it'll be big. I can promise you both of those things.
Will you reveal your birth face?
I'll do something even better than that.
Whoa.
That's like so played. The whole like Basil show your face thing, that's so played. There'll be something even cooler than that.
Okay.
So yeah, head on over to Apple Podcasts. If you got an iPhone or any Apple product, you've got it on there already. Just search for the app Apple Podcasts and leave a rating and a review. It's very helpful. Just search for Canary Cry News Talk and you can figure it out from there. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm about to put a bounty on ratings and reviews. Thank you, Link, for the jams. Thank you, Jam, for the links. And other than that, just share the show. Share it with your friends and your family. Look, in the pre-show today, I begged for people to, post about the show, post the link, or just retweet one of our tweets, something like that. The reason that we're paying so much attention to this stuff right now is because it is obvious. Not even just to us. It is obvious to our peers that we are being held back by the algorithms and shadow banned and all these sorts of things, which is like fine. We're not the only one. Lots of people experience this, but it's happening for real. And as far as we can tell by peers that I respect, I have been told that you can break out of that, but it takes things that are out of our control. Like it takes people interacting with our tweets and our stuff and posting our links, and it takes real human beings leaving ratings and reviews and stuff like that. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about this. It's not just because we want to see tweets about us or something. It takes a concerted, sort of organized effort by a large group of people. And when I say large, it wouldn't even take thousands. If we had 100 people who committed to retweeting everything we did or something, we could easily break out of what we need.
We could
but it's just people aren't invested, Guns. There's not enough people invested, or maybe, like I said, I'll take the blame. Maybe I have not explained the situation good enough. So just start doing those things.
Sure. No, I was going to say that 100 people coordinatedly doing some social media stuff, especially on Twitter, you can get trending. So we need to just pick a hashtag, and we really need to get people to do it. If you do it all at once, it's pretty simple. You just post it, you hit like, retweet, that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's some coordination. 100 people with some minor coordination can really change the tide
on Twitter, which is pretty gnarly.
So keep an eye out. I think we're going to be trying to put together more of an actual system for this, and people who want to help produce the show in that way. So keep an eye out for that. But until then, just help us out, man. Just interact with everything, leave ratings and reviews. We officially definitely need to break through something as far as the shadow banning is concerned. So thank you very much. And you can share the show in all sorts of ways. Some people, they don't want to do it in the way that they're told or that they know works. They want to live their own life. They want to share the show in ways that nobody's even thought of before. How do you even do that?
How do you?
The breadth of human ingenuity is so broad. How can you think of something that nobody else has ever thought of or said or ranted about on a podcast, especially when you do it every episode for 500 episodes? Thinking of new original ideas seems to almost be some sort of Sisyphusian task that is sort of impossible for a human being to even comprehend. But one example is that you could get a group of friends. Look, it doesn't need to be a huge group. It could be a small group. It could be 8 friends. Have a meetup. Put on a meetup. 8 people show up. Boom. There's your team. Now here's when I say team, I mean you guys are going to have to do some trust falls. You're going to have to really trust each other, because on the field of battle, it's your brother or sister next to you that you got to rely on to do the other to rely on the things you need to rely on them for. So get your team together, okay? And then you're going to take that team.
Did you freeze?
Sorry, I just froze. I'm back now, though.
Okay, good.
You're going to take that team and you're going to have a nice little brainstorming session. Mm-hmm. You didn't think that's where it was going, but I'm telling you now, have a little brainstorming session. Somebody might call it a hive mind, but I'm not calling it that. You don't need to connect your brains with electronic components and upload your consciousness to some sort of network of networks of satellites in order to come up with a good idea. All you need is a few pals sitting around a table brainstorming, because there are lots of logos that could benefit from having a UFO on the logo. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
HuffPo, they told us about the prank and the hack, about the prank hack, about the UFO getting put on the logo for the Aeronautical Information Managers League of Fellows. But I say, get your buddies together, start redesigning every logo. Just Google the word logo and just start at the top and add UFOs into every single logo. And then Huffington Post style, your merry band of pranking hacksters or hacking pranksters can start replacing every logo on Earth with a version that has a little UFO on it. And suddenly, Huffington Post, for once, will have started a conspiracy theory that actually has some sort of basis in reality. And people will be like, why suddenly are UFOs showing up on all the logos? Is it some sort of sign from the stars? Have they infiltrated us? Do they walk among us? And then huge social movements will begin. They'll say the aliens, they've come down, they have hijacked our logo system, and the people who know about the occult and the dark magics will say, no, they've broken into our mental and occult network of sigils and signs that are used to cast the spells upon the minds of man in order to guide their consciousness towards the blah, blah, blah. And that'll continue for quite some time until finally, a Chinese defector who you cannot trust, and it'll be denied by state media. A Chinese defector will come out and say, you've all got it wrong. I'm a Chinese defector, and I know what's really going on. What's really going on is that there was this one podcast and one episode of the podcast where this googly-eyed Muppet man kind of planned this whole thing out, and it really just took 8 people to change the course of history. And why did they do this? Well, they did it to beat the algorithms for their very good podcast friends, and they did it. So now the entire world, including the ruling elite lizard people, constantly listening to Canary Cry News Talk. And booyah, baby! Finally, we can break through the shadowy cabal of shadow sensors blocking. What is the word for it? Yeah, shadow ban. That's what it is. And we'll be unshadow banned, and that'll be really helpful. And then my body will stop. It'll start healing itself, and it'll stop shriveling and breaking apart piece by piece because nobody's leaving ratings and reviews. That's just one way that you can help the show out. You don't have to do it that way. You can figure out any other way you want, but you must know. We call it rattling cages, and if you need more instructions, all you got to do is walk right up, grab him by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! Don't ever silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah. Any last words, Gons?
Enjoy the Feast of Trumpets. And we'll see you on Wednesday.
Wednesday Day.
Wednesday Day.
Yeah.
I wonder what fun things we'll report on Wednesday.
Oh, certainly something fun. Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time, but until then, think outside the cage.
It will kill.
We're all gonna die.
This is the way. It will kill.
We're all gonna die.
I've ordered more pills than anyone in the world.
This is the United States of America, for God's sake.
I love the Great Reset.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Buy!
None is righteous. No, not one. No one understands. No one seeks for God. All have turned aside. Together they have become worthless. No one does good, not even one. Their throat is an open grave. They use their tongues to deceive. The venom of asps is under their lips. Their mouth is full of curses and bitterness. Their feet are swift to shed blood. In their paths are ruin and misery. And the way of peace they have not known. There is no fear of God before their eyes. Now we know that whatever the law says, it speaks to those who are under the law, so that every mouth may be stopped, and the whole world may be held accountable to God. For by works of the law, no human being will be justified in his sight, since through the law comes knowledge of sin, the righteousness of God through faith in Jesus Christ, for all who believe. For there is no distinction, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God, and are justified by his grace as a gift, through the redemption that is in Christ Jesus.
When the news of the day gets to feeling like a maze, it's okay, don't be afraid if you don't know what to say. Canary, cry awaits. When your brain's in a haze and a headline days, come on ahead my way, I can help you out the cage. Canary, cry awaits. Canary, cry awaits. Oh, canary, cry awaits. Oh, the world's changing every day, each and every way you turn, there's another thing to learn. Reading in between the lines, thanking Jesus for our lives, and nice to see his glory shining like the sun. Run the race until it's done. Come on, everyone. Canary, cry awaits. Oh, canary, cry awaits. When your brain's in a haze and a headline days, come on ahead my way, I can help you out the cage. Canary, cry away.
Canary Cry Radio.com/support.
Goodbye, everybody. And that's the end. And everyone says, oh, that was fun.
Bye. I'm out of here. Bye.